Hey, if you're new to my channel, then consider liking and subscribing. It would really mean a lot to me, and honestly, it'd make my day. If you already did, thank you so much. Oh, and by the way, if you like listening to fan fiction, check out my other channel. The link's in the description.
The Comet Wish by Moriana 19. What would you do if one night you made a wish on a comet, and the next morning woke up on the Going Merry? Join Rose, an otaku who's about to have the adventure of a lifetime, as she lives through the arcs of One Piece with the Straw Hats. Adios.
Chapter 1. After another tiring day working at Tony's Pizzeria in New York City, Rose Catone, a 5.5-foot tall pale skinny girl with long brown hair, freckles, and purple eyes, made it back to her foster home and was completely ready for bed. However, before the brunette went to bed, she went to place her paycheck into her anime confund. She reads as many mangas from Rurouni Kenshin, One Piece, Ouran Host Club and many others as she could find. She also watches as many anime episodes as she could find online from the manga that she reads, and plenty others that give her a new world to explore. With this new paycheck she received, she can finally achieve her dream of going to an anime convention for the first time. When she looked into her hiding place, however, she found that everything was in place but the money she worked months to save. There are only two people in her mind who would do this, and she's going to find her culprits right now. Marie. Laura. Where are you? Her twin older foster sisters were lounging in the living room watching the Jersey Shore when they heard Rose. Rose approached them, both fuming with rage. Where is it? Rose said slowly, with rage increasing with each word. Where's what, Rosie? Marie asked sarcastically, knowing full well what she was talking about. Don't give me that. You know full well I'm talking about the money, Rose said, trying to hold back the urge to punch her sister. Money? Oh, you mean the money you left us to go prom shopping with? Laura said. You did what? I was saving that money to go to the convention next month, you bitches. Rose yelled, unable to contain her anger anymore. Huh. The money was better spent with us, in my opinion. At least now it won't be wasted in your childish Chinese cartoon obsess. Marie was cut off by a punch in the face by Rose that sends her falling to the ground. For the last time, anime is Japanese. If you're going to insult me, do it right, you priss. Pissed off that her face is going to leave a mark, Marie lunges at Rose, with Laura joining in the fight to get back at punching Marie. Rose is a part the martial arts club at school, so she is capable of holding her own against her two foster sisters, but both twins like to use their nails as a weapon, leaving deep scratch marks all over her pale skin. In return for these claw marks, she managed to give each of the twins a broken nose and a fair amount of bruises. What is going on here? Rick, the twins' father and Rose's foster dad, who just returned from work, shouted as he sees the girls on the floor fighting. Daddy! Rosie attacked us. Both twins yell as they run to their dad for comfort and protection. Rose, what were you thinking, breaking their noses this close to prom? Don't you realize that they need to look their best? There are things more important than prom. These two stole the money I saved for the convention from my room, and used it to buy prom stuff. Rose yelled in fury. Did you two at least get all that you needed for the big day? Rick said, not paying attention to how they got the money. We did, Daddy. The money was just enough to make us look great until my nose. Wah! Laura cried, knowing that she will win no matter what. What are we going to do about our noses, Daddy? We can't go like this, Marie cried. Rick then glared at Rose, who knew full well where this is going. Rose, I expect you to pay for their broken noses, and a full-fledged apology for acting like a savage. No way. These thieves already stole most of my money, and I would rather run the streets naked than apologize to these spoiled brats. Rick was the one fuming now. Then I guess we're going to have to sell those comics that you have collected in order to pay for the injuries. As for the apology, until you do so, I don't want to see you reading a single comic, cartoon, and going to that fighting club is off limits now too. What? If anyone should be punished, it's these two for stealing my hard-earned money. Looks aren't everything, they could just go with a bandage on their noses. Marie and Laura were both horrified of the idea. The very idea. For your information, looks are everything, but I wouldn't expect a little orphan barbarian to understand that simple concept. For someone with a cute name, you're not cute at all. I truly pity you, Marie said with sarcastic pity. I think this is a great punishment, Daddy. It's about time she enters the real world instead of those silly cartoon worlds that she gets so obsessed with," Laura says with a snotty attitude. Rose walks over to give them another punch, but Rick stopped her. "Rose, go to your room now, before I consider kicking you out of my house." He didn't have to tell her twice. She ran back to the room before she can add more fuel to the fire. She slams the door to her room and slumps down to the floor, crying with her head cradled by her arms and clutching the only heirloom her family left her hanging around her neck. "Damn it. Why do I have to be stuck with this family until I'm 18? I'm supporting myself just fine at 17, so why can't I just leave?" She doesn't move until something starts flashing outside the window that catches her attention. She walks up to the window and finds a large comet passing by up in the sky. Without thinking, she makes a wish on the comet while holding her mother's necklace to the comet, remembering the way she used to wish on a comet. "I wish I can go into the anime world. Any anime world is better than this one. As long as I have a means to protect myself, I don't care which anime world I go to. Please, comet, grant my wish." Rose then starts to giggle. Hee hee. Man, I must be really desperate to be wishing on a comet. Mom, Dad, I miss you guys. As fresh tears stream down her face, she decides to head off to bed. She changes out of her work clothes and changes into her favorite one-piece t-shirt and flannel pants, then goes to sleep with this last thought. Hee hee. Too bad that wish can't happen. If it did, the One Piece world would have been a great adventure. Rose wakes up suddenly feeling chilly, even though she felt completely warm about 5 seconds ago. She sits up half-dazed, looking at the surroundings around her to find that she is no longer in the apartment anymore, but what seems to be on the deck of a boat. What the hell is going on? She starts to stand up and finds something in her hand. A light blue fruit with swirls on it shaped like a mango. Where did this fruit come from? Maybe a better question would be, what is this fruit? I've never seen anything like it before. She was still confused until she noticed the goat's head on the ship and immediately recognized it as the Going Merry. Holy shit. I'm on the Going Merry. Her purple eyes go from shock to pure excitement in a matter of seconds. How did this happen? Did the comet do this? She looks around seeing if there is a sign of how it happened, but nothing until she looks at her shirt with the One Piece logo missing. I guess this is how the comet chose my destination, and the devil fruit must be the means to protect myself. Rose smiles to herself in true glee that she is finally away from her world, and is ready to make a fresh start with the Straw Hats. She's surprised no one noticed her. The sun has just begun to rise today, so no one is awake yet. She starts walking around the deck and exploring her new surroundings. Let's see, since I'm on the Going Merry, we must be somewhere before the Water 7 arc. Good thing I'm up to the Punk Hazard arc. Ouch. She suddenly remembers the claw marks her foster sisters gave her the night before. Before I meet the Straw Hats, I probably should try to make these marks look better. I don't want to scare them. She sneaks into the ship with the devil fruit, trying to be as quiet as possible without the crew noticing her presence, until she walks into what appears to be a small infirmary on the ship. Perfect. Now all I need to do is patch up my marks. Oh wait. Before something happens, I should eat this. She takes the first bite of the devil fruit in her hand and regrets it immediately. Ew. Fruit users deal with this taste? Blue. She mutters, and keeps getting grossed out as she finishes the devil fruit and guzzles down a bucket of water to get the taste out of her mouth. I don't really feel any different. Did the comet give me a dud? She tries to find out what her power is when she hears voices just outside the room. Go into the infirmary now, Zoro. I want to check your injuries from the last battle before breakfast. The voice says, who Rose could only guess it to be Chopper. Alright, if it will get you off my back faster, let's get it over with, Zoro says. Shit. Of all the people for Chopper to check up now, it had to be Zoro. I gotta hide. She scrambles urgently until she finds some barrels to hide behind. Shit, why didn't I just stay on the deck? They're gonna think I'm a thief now, damn it. Zoro and Chopper walk into the room and Zoro immediately detects that something is not right. Chopper, before we start the physical, mind if I look around the room for a bit? Chopper is confused about the request, but he complies. Zoro looks around and Rose is immediately starting to panic. When she doesn't hear anyone's voices, she decides to peek a little, only to see Zoro with his sword out about to cut her in half. Ah! Rose screams as she jumps out of the way in time to dodge the blade and lands on her butt in front of a scared Chopper running to hide behind the counter, and a pissed off Zoro who pointed his sword right in front of her freckled face. You got 5 seconds to tell me who you are and how you got on this ship. Zoro says with a menacing aura emanating from him. Like you would believe I'm from an alternate universe. Rose sweat drops from the fear of knowing this is no idle threat. My name is Rose and how I got here. You would not believe me if I told you. Wrong answer. Zoro unsheathes all 3 katanas and prepares to lunge at her. Chopper watched in horror as Rose quickly stands up and bolts it out the door and into the hall to get away from a pursuing Zoro. Crap. I've been in this world for what? 1 hour, and I've already pissed off Roronoa Zoro. Hee, just my luck. Come on, devil fruit powers. Give me something to work with here. She silently pleads, but nothing happens, causing her to get frustrated while running with Zoro on her tail. 3 sword style. Onigiri. Zoro charges at her with the back of his blades. Shit. I'm so dead. Come on, devil fruit. Help me avoid the attack. Suddenly, a burst of wind lifts her above Zoro's head, dodging the onigiri attack and landing her safely on the other side of him. She kept running while shocked of what just happened, while an equally shocked swordsman kept up the chase. What the? I can't believe it. I got the wind fruit. That is completely awesome. I've always wanted to fly. Wait. Less celebrating, more running. Zoro is still out for my head. Alright, here goes nothing. I command thee, wind, get me away from Zoro? As if on command, another gust of wind lifts her up, making her fly at top speed, causing Zoro to run full speed after her. Get back here. As the chase ensued, Luffy and Usopp were heading out of the men's quarters, pumped for breakfast, until they see the chase heading towards them. Rose sweat dropped at Usopp's shocked and Luffy's excited expressions. Oh boy, this can't be good. An intruder is on the ship flying at us. Run, Usopp yelled while running back to the room. Awesome, she's flying, Luffy yelled with excitement in his eyes. Quit gawking and help me stop that girl, Zoro yelled out to Luffy. Got it. Luffy grabs the girl's shoulder and pulls her back, but it didn't make her stop. Instead, it made Rose go on a U-turn, with Luffy grabbing onto her, hugging her from behind and becoming a part of the ride. Zoro looks at him in disbelief. I said stop her, not ride with her, idiot. What are you doing? Rose blushes from the contact, and struggles to keep control of her flying with a passenger. Hoo, this is awesome. Hey, how do you stop? Luffy says as he completely ignores Rose's question. I honestly have no idea. Both flyers are now about to collide with Zoro. He sheathes his swords to avoid the risk of Luffy getting hurt, but tries to push her to a stop, but as contact was about to be made, Rose accidentally made Zoro go straight through her with her new logia type abilities. Aw crap, I can do that too. Wow, Rose muttered in excitement, not realizing where she was going, and looks ahead to see she's about to hit a wall. Luffy. The ride's over now, you gotta let go. No, Luffy deadpanned, causing Rose to facepalm. Then you leave me no choice. She bites Luffy's hands, forcing him to let go, and causes her to go full speed to crash through the wall and stop right above the ocean. Crap. Rose tries to summon more wind to get her inside, but nothing happens, leading her to plop straight into the ocean. Zoro managed to fish out the mysterious wind girl before she was too deep in the ocean, but not soon enough where she didn't pass out. He managed to bring her out of the water and lay her onto the deck of the Going Merry, where 6 other crew members look to see who's the intruder that caused all this chaos so early in the morning. Chopper makes sure that she's breathing while Nami stares at her with curiosity. So, you and Zoro found her in the infirmary, Chopper? He sighs in relief that she's breathing, then turns to Nami. Why yeah, she hid behind some barrels, but Zoro detected her right away and started slicing at her. Robin looks at her and notices her claw marks. I wonder how she got those marks on her body. How dare you cut such a pretty girl, Marimo? Sanji yells furiously as he jump kicks Zoro and he blocks with his katanas. Those marks weren't me, Arrow Cook. I didn't even land a hit on her because of her devil fruit. Chopper went to get the first aid kit as Sanji and Zoro bicker. Robin uses her devil fruit ability to sprout hands off the deck to stop the two from fighting and puts them in a hold. She turns her attention to Zoro as she releases her hold on them. What kind of devil fruit does she possess, Zoro? My guess is she ate the wind fruit. She was using it to fly away from me, but she doesn't have any control over it. Chopper returns with the first aid kit to treat her. From the looks of these marks, it looks like she was clawed by something or someone. We can't say for certain until she wakes up. But these are pretty deep. I wonder what happened. What I want to know is how she came here in the first place. We haven't been to an island in over a week. It's possible she flew here, but with her lack of control it's not likely, Nami says. Usopp looks at her nervously. What if she's here to attack us? Because if she is, I will use my super Usopp punch to keep us safe? Chopper stares at him with stars in his eyes. Really? That's so cool, Usopp. Luffy shakes his head. Nah, I wouldn't worry, she's not a bad person. Zoro raises an eyebrow at him. How the hell do you know that? Before she crashed, she forced me to get off so I wouldn't crash along with her. He shows his bite marks as proof. Robin giggles. Hee hee, she's a mystery, but we'll have to wait until she wakes up to find out more about her. The crew nods in agreement as they look at the unconscious brunette with curiosity. Remember, Rose, there are many different worlds out there. Rose, Mother says before placing her 5-year-old daughter to bed. These different worlds are like the countries in our world. There can be many differences in ways of life, but we're all the same in the end. Rose looks up at her mother curiously. Mommy, is there a way to travel to one of these worlds? Not yet, my dear, but with your father's and my research we should find a way for us to explore other worlds someday soon. Rose beams with excitement. I can't wait. Rose's father chuckles as he leans against the doorway. Hee. Then we have another reason to finish the research. He starts walking up to his whiff, continuing. Once we figure out how the Timor Comet works, and how we can use its power, we'll let you be the first interworld traveler. Rose pouts at that. No, I want all three of us to go together. Both parents giggle at her cute declaration before her mother kisses her forehead. Alright, Rose. Once we complete our research we'll go together, but for now the only world you should be concerned about is your dream world. Good night, Rose. Her father kisses his daughter's cheek before tucking his child in. Good night, sweetie. Good night, Mommy and Daddy. Love you. The child curled up in bed before immediately going off into her dreams. Rose woke up with a smile from remembering her parents, but the realization of what happened earlier today hits her and takes her out of her happy days when she sees 7 curious faces staring down at her intensely. Rose's sweat drops at the awkward silence between her and the crew. Oh boy, so much for my first impression. I better be careful what I say here. She nervously smiles while waving. Hi there, everybody. Thank you for fishing me out of the ocean. My name is Rose, and while she was trying to explain herself, a rose suddenly appears in her line of vision courtesy of Sanji. My dear, you are the most beautiful rose I have ever seen, making this poor flower pale against your loveliness. I'm truly captivated by the magnificent angel that decided to float down from heaven and grace us with her glorious pres. Nami cuts Sanji off with a punch to the side of the head. Stop flirting, Sanji. We have more concerning matters to deal with here. Nami turns her way to Rose. My name is Nami and this idiot is Sanji. Where exactly did you come from? Well, it's kind of hard to explain, it's a long story. Rose says, not fully sure how to explain herself. Robin steps up to her. My name is Robin. Is it true that you ate the wind fruit? Rose nodded, but when she tried to demonstrate it didn't work. I swear I'm definitely a devil fruit user, but I just ate it today so I'm not fully sure how it works. I'm just grateful it worked this morning. How did you know my name? Luffy asks. You're pretty famous where I'm from. I still can't believe that I'm meeting you today, Rose said with a smile. I'm the great warrior of the sea, Usopp. Why, you had better not be an enemy, because if you or I have 8,000 men at my disposal ready to attack, so be prepared, Usopp says while trembling, worried about her being an enemy. Rose giggles at the obvious lie. Don't worry, Usopp, I don't want to fight you nor your men. My name is Chopper. How did you get these claw marks? It's not like I care or anything. I'm just concerned as a doctor. Chopper asked defensively as he finishes treating the marks. My foster sisters gave them to me after they stole my money, but don't worry, I didn't get these marks in vain. I managed to break both of their noses. She gives him a triumphant grin. Thank you for treating me, Chopper. I'm sorry for scaring you back there. I wanted to treat the marks before I introduced myself, but the whole scenario happened. Everyone, thank you for fishing me out, and I'm sorry for intruding the ship, biting your captain, and making a hole in your ship. She politely bows while Sanji walks up to her with hearts in his eyes. There's no need for you to apologize, Rose Schwan. If anyone should apologize, it's the mosshead who should for scaring you into a chase. Zoro twitches an eyebrow. What was that love cook? If she had just explained herself I wouldn't have chased her. Sanji turns to him angrily. Shut it, Marimo. She was probably scared of that demonic mug of yours. Oh yeah? Sanji and Zoro go back to bickering and having a leg and sword clash. Rose giggles at the scene in front of them and turns to Luffy. They're always like that, huh? Yup. They're really funny, but Sanji is right, don't apologize. If you didn't bite me I would have fallen in as well. Shishi. He flashes that toothy grin at her, then his face shows an idea popped into his head. Hey Rose, how about joining my crew? Rose's eyes widen in shock along with the rest of the crew except Sanji with hearts in his eyes. Are you sure it's a good idea, Luffy? Usopp asks with some suspicion left in his eyes. Luffy nods with a big smile. Yup, I'm sure she's a good person, besides I wanna go flying again. Usopp's sweat drops at his attitude. That's probably his only reason. That's a great idea, Captain. What do you say, Rose Schwan? Would you join my side and sail the world with me? Sanji says with hearts in his eyes as he kneels in front of Rose while she's complete frozen and not sure of what to do. Nami whacks Sanji again. Sanji, knock it off, you're gonna scare her. I think it would be a great idea of you joining the crew too. It would be nice to have more girls in the crew. Robin nods in agreement. As long as it's okay with the captain I'm fine with it, but if you betray us I won't hesitate to cut you down. Zoro says, earning him a kick in the head from Sanji. Don't threaten her, Moss head. As Rose watches the scene before her she can only feel one thing that she hasn't felt in a long time. The feeling of belonging in a family. I'd love to join the crew. Thank you so much. Rose politely bows and earns a smile from the crew. Hoo-hoo, we got a new crew member, let's celebrate, Luffy yells. I'll prepare something extra special for Rose Schwan. With that Sanji hurried to the kitchen to start whipping up a celebration breakfast. By the way Rose, what are you wearing? Nami inquires as the guys were scattering about to their daily activities. Rose suddenly realized that she was still in her pajamas this whole time. Back where I'm from this is the usual sleepwear. I see, in that case you can borrow some of my clothes until we reach the next island. Robin, can you help us out here? Of course, this will be fun. Robin says. Thank you, Rose says. While the three girls head inside, Rose couldn't help but wish to herself that she could stay here forever and cannot wait to start her new adventures. To be continued. Rose's first day of joining the crew had already been filled with excitement from Zoro's chase and she can't wait to see what the rest of the day would hold. Right now the girls are deciding what she can borrow until they reach the next island. Being a little tomboyish, Rose didn't really care about the appearance as much as the function, so she chose a simple pair of jeans, black sneakers and a blue long sleeve shirt. When looking in the mirror, Rose immediately spots the rhombus-shaped, half-red, half-black crystal hanging around her neck, and unconsciously touches it with a soft smile. I'm so glad this made the journey. Both Robin and Nami look at the necklace curiously as they never saw a necklace with that type of crystal before. What type of crystal is in that necklace? Robin asks. Rose immediately snapped out of her daze. To be honest, I'm not fully sure myself. My parents gave this to me when I was 10, celebrating that. Rose started to cut herself off, remembering how happy her parents were that day, saying their research was completed at last before the tragedy happened. Nami and Robin notice this and they walk over to put a hand on her shoulders. Don't worry, we all have scars that are hard to share. If you ever want to talk about it, just let us know, Nami said with a smile. She's right, Rose, there's no rush. Whenever you are ready to talk about your past, just let us know. Robin says with her usual smile, but there was warmth in it. Thanks guys, I really achoo. Rose sneezes, accidentally uses her wind to send her flying out of the room and slams her back against the hallway wall. She cradles her aching head as she staggers back up. Seriously? The flying sneeze routine. What am I, the last airbender? That reminds me though, I gotta learn how to control this ability before I destroy the ship. Both girls run out of the room. Are you okay, Rose? Nami asks. She nods with a grin. Why yay, I'm okay. I'm glad I was able to demonstrate my devil fruit ability at least, hee. Robin crosses her arms over her chest. I think it's best if we start training you on your ability before you get hurt again. My thoughts exactly, only question is how to do that. I have an idea. Robin says with a grin that makes the other two afraid of what she's thinking. As the girls head over to the mess hall for breakfast, the guys were glad they finally arrived because now Sanji would allow them to eat. I'm so glad you're here, Nami Swan, Robin Schwan, and Rose Schwan. You all look absolutely stunning. I whipped up a lovely breakfast to commemorate the arrival of our new crew member. Sanji swoons to the girls as he places 3 plates in front of them with the most delicious looking plate of pancakes Rose has ever seen, with hearts drawn on top by maple syrup. Thank you, Sanji, this looks great. When the freckled brunette took the first bite, she immediately felt like she was in heaven. I knew Sanji's food was good, but wow, this is amazing. Much better than the TV dinners back home. Everyone is enjoying breakfast while keeping up their guard from Luffy's wandering hand trying to grab as much food as possible. As Luffy tries to grab a bite from Rose's plate, he was met with a fork stabbed into his hand. Rose grins triumphantly while continuing to eat her breakfast. Nice try, Luffy. It's gonna take more than that to steal my food. Usopp laughed at what he just saw. She showed you, Lu. He froze when he saw his pancakes gone. Hey Luffy, give me back my food. Usopp yells as Luffy eats Usopp's breakfast. It was everyone else's turn to laugh now except for Zoro, who left to go training after he finished his food. After breakfast, everyone but Sanji and Rose left the kitchen. Hey Sanji, do you need any help with the dishes? Rose asks. The blonde shakes his head as he rolls his sleeves up to do the dishes. Don't worry, I can take care of it. Are you Sue? Rose, come on out, it's time to practice. Robin interrupts from outside. Go on ahead, Rose-chan, I'll be fine here, Sanji says with an assuring grin. Alright, wish me luck. I'm gonna need it. So, what exactly was this idea of yours? Rose asks, completely nervous about what Robin is going to say, especially with a rope in her hand. It's simple, all we have to do is put you in a similar situation where you were when you first used your ability, so you can learn to channel it willingly. In your case, you're going to be attacked. Robin ties the long rope around Rose's waist to the mast. This is just an extra precaution so that you don't go flying into the ocean again. Isn't there a better way to do this? I feel like a dog on a leash. Don't worry, as long as you use your ability you shouldn't die. Rose's sweat drops at Robin's comment. That doesn't make me feel better about this. Zoro isn't gonna be the attacker, is he? She shudders at the memory of her high-speed chase this morning. Robin chuckles at the nervous girl. Don't worry, I have a few others in mind for this experiment. What did you need is for Robin? Luffy says as he and Chopper start walking towards her. I need your help with getting Rose's power under control. Would we be expecting Long Nose as well? Chopper shakes his head. No, he said something about fixing the hole in the ship after we left breakfast. I'm sorry again for that, Rose says, still feeling guilty about what happened. Luffy shakes his head with a toothy grin. Don't worry about it, the Mary has been through tougher scrapes than that when we were up in the sky. Rose feels a little better from his smile. I see. Wait, did you say when you were in the sky? Do you mean Skypia? Yay, that's the one. I'm surprised you heard about it, Chopper says with curiosity. She rubs the back of her head nervously. Oh well, I heard great stories about Skypia back in my hometown. It sounded like a really cool place, at least from what I've seen in this story. So we're that close to the Water 7 arc. I wonder how that will play out. Robin gives her a curious look but focuses back into the training. Alright, you two, here is what I want you to do. Doctor, I want you to try attacking Rose in close combat range. Captain, I want you to try to attack her from a distance. Since Long Nose cannot come, you're going to have to be the long-distance opponent. I don't think this is a great idea, Robin. Rose is still hurt from those claw marks and the crash. She should wait a bit, Chopper says with a concerned look for his new patient. Rose walks over to him, kneels down to his level, and pats him on the head with a reassuring smile. Don't worry, Doc. It will take more than a few scratches from those two to hurt me. Back where I'm from, I'm one of the best fighters in my school. I can take a hit, and as long as you're my doctor, I know I'm in good hands. Chopper whacks her hand away. Shut up. Don't think your compliments make me feel happy, human. Your compliments mean nothing to me at all. Hey hey hey, Chopper says while showing his real emotions in a happy dance. Hee hee, I see. Alright, let's see what my new crewmates got. Rose gets in a stance with excitement in her eyes. That's the spirit. Let's go. Luffy yells, throwing the first punch, in which Rose sidesteps out of the way in time. Chopper goes into heavy point and starts punching her with Luffy continuing to give her gum pistols. Rose steps back to dodge Chopper's punches and holds back on punching back, only wanting to fight with her wind. As Luffy throws his punches, Rose manages to dodge but got hit with some of Chopper's punches in the process. She tries to use her wind abilities but nothing seems to come out as she continues to dodge until she reaches the end of the rope and is now cornered with Chopper and Luffy's punches. Crap, I gotta do something quick, what worked once right. I command the wind send me flying to avoid these punches. For once her power worked as she wanted, as a large gust of wind sends her flying up, avoiding both Chopper and Luffy's punches. I think I'm getting the hang of how to fly now. The real questie. As she's thinking this, she remembers her situation as Luffy's punches heads towards her. Damn it, go through me. Go through me. As she thinks this, she prepares for the worst, but as Luffy's punch heads closer, her logia powers come into effect and Luffy's punch manages to go through her. Awesome. I can't believe that worked. Let's see if this works. Wind, I order you to land me. As she thinks this, the wind under her disappears, causing her to drop from 7 feet in the air. Crap. Wind, stop me from falling. As she pleads this, the wind manages to catch her just before she hits the ground. Wow, that worked, Rose muttered with a smile. Good job, I think that's enough training for today, Robin says as she unties the rope and heads to sit down with her book. That was great. Can you make me go flying now? Luffy yelled with enthusiasm. I'm not fully sure how to do that yet, but once I do though, you'll be my first flyer, deal. Yosh, Chopper runs over to examine Rose. Let me see your injuries, you got hit a couple of times. Are you hurt anywhere? She shakes her head with a smile. Nope, I'm good, you pulled your punches during the training, right? Because of that I'm not hurt, thanks Doc. Stupid, your thanks doesn't mean anything at all. I don't want your thanks, Chopper says with a big smile and happy dance. I see, Rose says with a smile as the kitchen door slams open, revealing an angry Sanji. Luffy, where are you? Oh boy, Luffy mutters as he tries to run, but Sanji already saw him and kicked him to the ground. You stole meat from the fridge again, didn't you? Luffy's lips purse to the side and his eyes avert everywhere but Sanji's eyes. I didn't take any meat. You are literally the worst liar in the world, Sanji says as he whacks Luffy with a fishing rod. Because of you we're out of meat, so unless you fish us some food you're going without dinner tonight. Sanji walks back to the kitchen, leaving Luffy to groan. Aw man, hey Rose. Chopper, come help me fish, alright? Chopper says as he grabs a fishing pole for him and Rose. Chopper hands one to Rose, but she quickly steps back, looks away nervously, and shifts her eyes everywhere. Actually I can't. I have an allergy to fishing poles. You are one of the worst liars I have ever seen, Usopp says as he returns from patching up the hole in the ship. I don't want to hear that from you, Usopp. Could it be that you never fished before, Rose? Robin inquires, not taking her eyes off the book. Rose blushes from embarrassment for being found out. Was it that obvious? You really never fished before? Chopper asks and she nods. Don't worry Rose, I managed to catch a two-headed sea king when I was 12 years old. Teaching you how to be a master fisherman like me would be easy. Usopp lies with a proud face. Really? Teach me how to catch a sea king, Usopp, Chopper says with excitement. I want to learn too. Luffy yells with excitement of wanting to eat a sea king. Usopp nods with a thumbs up. Not a problem. What do you say? Rose wanted to learn how to fish. Yay, it sounds like fun, Rose says with excitement. Great, I'll be right back with my fishing pole, Usopp says as he rushes into the boat and returns in a flash with his fishing pole. Alright, so how do I do this? Rose asks as she grabs the fishing pole Chopper offered. It's easy, all you gotta do is lean the rod back, release the clip holding the line, and then push forward letting the line go like this, Usopp says as he shows Rose, Luffy and Chopper how to cast. Rose, Chopper and Luffy all watched with excitement and copy Usopp's cast. I see, this kind of reminds me of Hunter x Hunter. Hee, I hope I don't get anything too small. Rose focused on her line until it started tugging, causing Rose to pull back on the rod, trying not to lose her grip. Hey Usopp, I think I caught something, what do I do now? Usopp blinks in surprise. Wow, that was quick. Alright, all you got to do is reel it in. Right. Rose tries to reel it in, but it gets harder and harder as the fish keeps fighting and is about to pull her into the water along with the rod until Luffy grabs her by the waist, keeping her from going in and causing her to blush lightly as she continues to reel it in. Thanks Luffy. What the hell did I catch? Rose keeps working to reel it in while the reel is getting harder to use. Chopper now goes into heavy point to help Rose reel it in as Usopp gets his net out for the fish. However, that net isn't going to do them any good as the fish surfaces and turns out to be a huge shark quarter the size of the Mary that was sent flying out of the ocean by Luffy and Chopper's strength. The four fishermen scream in surprise as the shark tries to dive down onto them, but before it could harm anyone, Luffy gave it a gum pistol and accidentally sent it flying into the air. Crap, I don't want to lose my first catch. Rose tries to summon her wind, focusing on what she wants the wind to do, and as she does this, a gust of wind goes under the shark before it goes back into the water, and she forces the wind to land it onto the deck. I did it, awesome. That was so much fun. Can we do that again? Rose turns to the guys in excitement to find a look of shock from Usopp and Chopper while her captain looks at the fish with excitement. This fish is huge. Sanji, cook up this shark we got. Luffy yells as he brings the shark over to the kitchen. Usopp looks at her with a cloud of depression over his head. Why, you said this was your first time. Yay, it was, but I wouldn't have been able to catch it without your lesson. Thank you, Usopp. You're a great teacher. Rose says while patting his shoulder, trying to comfort him. Usopp immediately recovers and gives her a thumbs up. I'm glad I was able to help. If you ever need more fishing lessons, the greatest fisherman in the world, Captain Usopp, is here to help. She sweat drops at the recovery. He recovers quick. I can't believe my wind worked. Robin's training really paid off. I better thank her later. Let's see if we can catch something bigger, Chopper yells with excitement from the catch. Yay, let's go, Rose and Usopp say as they pick up their poles and fished for the rest of the day. As the sun starts to set and the crew finishes dinner and heads out to get ready for bed, Rose notices that Luffy has been absolutely quiet, which kind of surprised her. She walks up behind him. Hey Luffy, is everything alright? We had a deal. Eh? He turns to her while pouting. You said that when you can make others fly, I would be your first flyer. Why did the shark fly first? She blinks at him in shock. He's jealous about a flying shark. She recovers and gives him a soft smile. I'm sorry, Luffy. I was in a panic about making sure the shark didn't get away. If it will make you feel better, I can make you my first human flyer now. Luffy immediately recovers. Really? Let's do it. Great, but we should get someone to watch in case something happens. Zoro, come over here. Luffy calls out, wanting to fly as soon as possible. What do you want? Zoro says as he approaches the pair. Rose looks at him nervously. Hey Zoro. Luffy wants to go flying. Can you watch us in case I accidentally drop him, please? Fine. She sweat drops at the attitude. At least he doesn't want to kill me now. Alright, ready Luffy? Let's go. Alright, here goes. She focuses on her wind, remembering how she made the shark go flying, and sooner than they knew it, Luffy's feet started to lift off the ground as he ascended into the air. Awesome. Can you bring me over to the trees? Luffy yelled with excitement. Sure, watch your hat. She brings Luffy over to Nami's tangerine trees and he stretches his arm to eat a few of them when he sees Nami below him preparing her clean attack for a thunder tempo. Luffy, how many times do I have to tell you to stop eating my tangerines? She yells as she finishes preparing her attack. Luffy panics and grabs onto the mast to pull a gum rocket, shooting H-Tempo's reach, but it shoots him too far, causing him to head towards the water. Ah! Hang on Luffy. Rose hurriedly catches Luffy with a new gust of wind before he reaches the water and lands him with her and Zoro. Phew, that was close, Luffy says, sighing with relief. You got that right. I'm just glad my wind caught you. Wait a minute, Rose remembers Luffy's stupid stunt and hits him on the head. Why did you do that? To avoid her lightning attack? You're made of rubber. It would still sting. Think before you act, idiot, Zoro says as he whacks Luffy's head too. Right, my bad. Luffy apologizes as Nami runs over to them and gives Luffy, Zoro, and Rose a whack to the head. Why did I get hit? Rose and Zoro ask simultaneously. Nami points her clean attack to Rose and replies. You were an accomplice by getting him to fly. And you, Zoro, were watching them and didn't stop them. Rose bows her head. I'm sorry, geez, just don't let it happen again. I'm going to bed. I'm gonna head to bed too. Today was annoying. Zoro says while walking away annoyed at what just happened. Zoro. Zoro turns around a bit surprised that Rose called out to him and gave him a small wave and a sheepish grin. I hope there are no hard feelings from this morning, since we're nakama now, let's be friends. Zoro quirks an eyebrow then turns away and starts to leave. Whatever, just don't betray the crew and you won't get hurt. Zoro went back inside while Luffy walked over to Rose. Don't worry about him, he's always like that. Here, this is thanks for the flying trips. He flashes a big grin as he hands Rose one of the tangerines he took. Thanks Luffy, I'll see you tomorrow. Good night. She shows Luffy an appreciative smile as she heads to bed and eats the tangerine. This has been the most fun day ever. I wonder what the first island would be like. With the first day as a straw hat drawn to a close, Rose goes to bed with complete excitement about what the next day would bring. To be continued Chapter 3. As the next few days passed on the Grand Line, the crew had gotten used to Rose. It had started to become a daily routine with the guys training her on her powers, relaxing with the girls while enjoying Sanji's drinks, helping out with cleaning in the kitchen, and even Zoro stopped acting suspicious around her. Right now the crew just spotted the next island when the sea monkeys created a giant wave heading towards the crew. Oh shit! Rose yelled as the giant wave heads towards them. Everyone get into position. Chopper steer the ship, Nami yells out. Okay. Nami turns to the guys, men, release the sails. Right. Yes, Nami Swan, Sanji says with hearts in his eyes. Nami turns to Rose. Rose, I need you to blast wind into the sail to get us away from the wave. Got it. Wait, what? I haven't gotten used to wind blasts yet. It's the best way to get us away from that wave. Alright, I'll try. Rose flies up to the back of the sails, and releases her wind, forcing the ship to move out of danger from the wave as they watch the ship next to them bicker. Wah! A wave is coming at us. Where's the navigator? Manny yelled with worry. We don't have a navigator, two other pirates Pete and Tony deadpanned. Look, there is a ship next to us, let's loot it, Tony exclaimed. No, we gotta get out of the way first, Pete yelled as he hits Tony in the head. Where's the captain? He should decide, Manny yells. Our captain is gone too, Tony and Pete yell. What's going on with that ship? Hey guys, get away from the wave, Usopp yells. He's right, release the sail, Manny yells. Our sail is gone too, Pete yells as the wave closes in on them. Wah! The wave that the sea monkeys created crashed onto the unorganized ship and buries them at sea. With the sea monkeys satisfied of causing mischief, they went home. What happened to them? They seemed confused, Nami says. I'm not sure, it looked as though the crew was split in half, Chopper says. It seems like the next arc is about to start. I know we're not at Water 7 yet, so which one is this? Rose lands back onto the deck while Sanji loved tornadoes over to her with a drink. That was wonderful, Rose Schwan. You really brought us out of harm's way. Thank you, Sanji. Rose happily takes the drink then turns to Robin. Thanks again for suggesting the training, Robin. It's really helping me get my power under control. Robin nods with a smile. My pleasure. I can see the island coming up ahead. Yahoo can't wait to see the island. Luffy yells with excitement until we reach the island, which shows an empty plain. There's nothing here, Luffy yells in disappointment. I wonder if there are any inhabitants on this island. Robin says as Rose, Luffy, Usopp, and Chopper jump off the ship. We're gonna go check it out, Rose yells as the four of them start heading out. Rose, make sure they don't do anything stupid, Nami yells as they depart, with Rose responding with a thumbs up. As the four of them explore the island, they are amazed at how long everything is: the animals, the trees, even the fruit was long. Luffy, don't eat that fruit, it could be poisonous, Usopp yells as Luffy grabs some of the fruit from the tree. Relax, Usopp, a long fruit is still fruit, Rose says as she takes a bite of a long apple. Hey guys, look, there's a house over there, Chopper says, causing the others to look at the small hut in the middle of the plain. Let's check it out, Luffy says as he finishes his apple and walks over and barges in. Hello, anyone here? Luffy, don't go barging in. What if it's an evil boss's hideout? Usopp says as he cautiously walks into the hut while Rose and Chopper stay outside. Wow! A giraffe! Chopper exclaims while looking at a long horse that's walking up to them. That's not a giraffe, Chopper. It's a horse with a really long neck, right girl? Rose says while petting the horse. The horse whinnies in response. She says, yes, my name is Shelly, it's nice to meet you. Chopper translates. The pleasure's all mine. Rose responds as Luffy and Usopp head outside to find 2 long bamboo poles. Wow, even the bamboo is long here. Usopp says as he and Luffy approach it. Bamboo? Wait, wasn't this when Rose approaches the bamboo along with the others? Wow! I can't even see the top. Luffy says when the bamboo starts to move, scaring Luffy and Usopp and causing Luffy to break the bamboo. Oh crap, I remember now. Rose catches Tanyet with her wind before he can hit the ground. What happened? Chopper asks as he and Shelly approach them. Rose caught the spirit that was living in the bamboo, Luffy says. He's not a spirit, you moron. Are you alright? Rose asks to Tanyet. Oh, it's been a long time. How are you? Tanyet asks the group. Rose turns to the guys. Do you guys know him? No, the boys respond. I don't know you either, Tanyet says. Then why did you act like you did? Usopp yells. My name is Tanyet. Thank you for getting me down from those stilts. Those were stilts? Usopp asks. Yes. I finally managed to make the world's tallest stilts, but when I got on them I was so terrified I couldn't get down for 10 years. Are you stupid? Luffy asks. Shelly whinnies in happiness. She says, I'm so glad to see you again, Tanyet. Chopper translates. Shelly, you waited all this time? I'm so happy to see you again, thank you for waiting. Let's go for a ride. Shelly whinnies in agreement and the two go for a ride as the others watch them. I can't believe she waited 10 years for him, Rose says with a soft smile. Yay, it must have been lonely. I'm glad they're together, Chopper says. Go Shelly. Usopp and Luffy cheered as they see the horse run around. Wait, there was a trigger to this arc, something involving these two. If I can only remember the name of this arc. Wait, that's it. Oh crap. Rose realizes that she's in the Davy Back fight arc and turns around to see Foxy, Porch and Hamburg fire their gun at Shelly. Damn it. Rose flies in front of the bullet that was shot to try and stop it with her wind. But it didn't work again and she accidentally activated her logia abilities, causing it to go through her and hit Shelly. Shelly! Everyone yelled as Usopp and Chopper head over to find the bullet got in her leg. Rose watches the horse in frustration. Shit, of all the times for my powers to not be in control, now was not a good time. Fefe, nice try stopping the bullet girl, but the great Foxy got his catch. Foxy says triumphantly as walks to the group. Shut up you stupid split-head fox. Rose yelled out in fury, making Foxy slump in depression with Porch trying to make him feel better while Hamburg chuckles. Who the hell are you guys? Luffy yells furious about what just happened. Surely you know Captain Foxy of the Silver Fox Pirates, Foxy says with a proud face. No I don't. Luffy responds, causing Foxy to slump down again. Luffy, being furious of the situation, starts getting ready for a gum whip. Not so fast Luffy, Foxy says, raising a hand to stop him. How do you know my name? Unlike you, we do our homework. Monkey D. Luffy 100 million belly bounty. With Zoro's bounty it's a total of 160 million belly for the entire crew. For 7 crew members that's impressive, or should I say 8 now. Who might you be? Porch asks Rose. My name is none of your business, Rose retorts. My, she's a feisty one. Now then Luffy, I will only fight you if you agree to go against me in a Davy Back fight, Foxy says. Shit. Luffy, wait. If you want to fight, bring it on, I won't let you bastards get away with hurting Shelly. Luffy cuts her off. Luffy, don't. We could lose our friends, Usopp yells, but it was too late. A Davy Back fight is ridiculous, Nami says to the Foxy Pirates who have the Mary trapped. It doesn't matter what you think, Missy. Once the captains shoot their guns at the same time, there is no going back. One of the Foxy Pirates responds. We have an unwritten contract with the captain to follow him, so whatever happens, Sanji says while puffing out a smoke from his cigarette. For once I agree. I'm looking forward to the challenge, Zoro says as he grins in excitement. There's no use arguing, Nami. You know how men are, Robin says with a grin with some excitement in her eyes. I hope Rose is able to stop this from happening. Nami thinks when all of a sudden the gunshots were heard. The Foxy Pirates started cheering, declaring that the Davy Back fight has begun to the excitement of everyone but Nami. So only 7 can play, and the game consists of a race of 3, a ball game of 3 and combat round for 1 person. Robin says as she reads off the list of events for the game. I thought I told you to make sure he didn't do anything stupid, Nami says, whacking Rose in the head. I'm sorry, but I promise things will work out, Rose says, cradling the bump on her head. I hope so, otherwise we're going to lose our friends, Nami says with worry, then adding, especially since I'm probably going to get taken because of my cuteness. Rose's sweat drops at the comment. You're safe there, so this is the Davy Back fight arc. I wish I remembered that sooner. Now's not the time to cry over spilled milk. Now that I know where I am, maybe I can help us win without losing Chopper at all. Alright, so who should play in the race? Just a reminder, I'm deathly allergic to racing, so you should count me out, Usopp says. I think Usopp should go into the race, Rose says. Why me? Usopp yells out, scared. I think we're going to have to make a boat for this race, and since you have the best carpenter skills on the crew, you're perfect, Rose says with a smile. Leave it to me. Captain Usopp will make a great boat, Usopp says with pride. I should go too in order to navigate, Nami says, and the crew agrees. I think Rose should participate in the race as well, Robin says with a smile. Wait, shouldn't you go? Rose says. Don't worry, your powers will be useful, and if the boat sinks you have 2 people to make sure you don't drown, Robin says without changing her expression. That doesn't make me feel better, but I can't argue with her logic. I'll do my best. Alright, the teams for the first round are Rose, Nami and Chopper. For round 2, Zoro, Sanji and Chopper. Finally for the combat round is Monkey D. Luffy. Here are the rules of the donut race. Each team will be given material of 3 barrels and 2 oars and build a raft to race around the island, Itomimizu announces to the crowd. Wow, good call on the boat building, Rose. How did you know? Usopp asks with curiosity. That's not important right now. We should make a boat quick, Rose says, building the boat and avoiding the subject. Wait, don't ignore the question, Usopp yells. Alright, let's get this race underway. Your favorite announcer Itomimizu will be watching over the race up in the sky. We have from the Straw Hats, the Barreled Tiger, and from the Foxy Pirates, the QD Wagon, Itomimizu announces as he takes to the sky on his bird. Why do you have a shark? Nami says as she sees Porch boat with her shark in front. The rules don't say anything about having a shark, haha, Porch says. Nami Swan, Rose Schwan, do your best out there, Sanji says with hearts in his eyes. Kick their ass, guys. Luffy cheers. Sink them, Porch, the Foxy Pirates cheer. The rules are the first ones to go around the island wins. Anything is allowed, including sinking the opponent. If you don't like it, you shouldn't be called a pirate, Itomimizu says. Man, this is getting heated. Let's start already, Nami yells. I hope you're ready to sink, Porch says with a giggle. The only one who is going to go down is you, Rose says with determination. One more thing before we start. Here is an eternal pose of the island in case you get lost, Itomimizu says as he drops the eternal poses to each team. Why would we need this? Nami says as she catches the eternal pose. Crap, how could I forget? Usopp. We need to position the boat so we are ready to get off the coastline quick before it starts, Rose says in realization of what's going on and paddles to the right position to avoid it. What are you talking about, Rose? Nami asks. No, she's right. The other boat is doing the same thing, Usopp says as he helps Rose to paddle. What are you both talking about? Nami asks again, irritated of not getting answered. On your marks. Get set. Go, come on, we gotta paddle quick, Rose says as she and Usopp try to get to the outer coast. Just tell me why already? Nami yells, losing her patience. That's why. Rose points out to the audience who are opening fire at the boat. Come on, we gotta sink them, one of the Foxy Pirates says as they shoot cannons at the boat. Crap, we still didn't get far enough. Wah, Rose screams as cannons fire close to her. The audience shouldn't be attacking, Usopp yells. Guys, we gotta paddle. Look out, Nami yells as a giant boulder heads towards them. Come on wind, work with me here. Rose focuses on blowing the rock away from them, manages to stop it from hitting them. Man, I'm glad that worked. Take this, assholes. How dare you try to harm Rose-chan and Nami-san. I'll gut you like a fish and fry you. Sanji yells as he kicks the guys that were shooting at the boat. Take this, jerks. Gum gum whip. Luffy yells as he joins Sanji in beating up the audience that was interfering. I think we're safe for now, but we gotta catch up with them. Rose, can you try using your wind again? Nami asks. I'll try it, but if it doesn't work then Usopp should prepare his impact dial. How did you know about that? I mean, what impact dial? Too late, Usopp. Nami says, causing Usopp to sweat drop as Rose faces the back of the boat. Come on wind, I don't want to lose here. Let's go. Rose yells as her wind blasts in front of her, causing the boat to go full speed, catching up to Porch. Whoa, the freckled chick's a devil fruit user. One of the Foxy Pirates says in shock. Wow, she's controlling the wind. She's a logia user. Another Foxy Pirate says. What have we here? Seems like the mysterious Rose ate the wind devil fruit. What an amazing ability. The barreled tiger is now catching up to the cutie wagon. Itomimizu says as he flies above. I'm not letting you stay in the race, sea splitter, Capote says as he attacks the boat. Take this, blasting star, Usopp says as Capote shakes it off as nothing. Ha, that almost tickles, Capote says with a cocky grin. Take this, asshole, Rose says as she makes the fishman fly and flips him, hitting his head on the deck of his boat and knocking him out. Capote, no. You'll pay for that, brat. Flower shuriken, Porch says as she tosses shuriken over to Rose's boat. Wind barrier. Rose says as a wind barrier protects the boat from the shuriken. No way. Porch says in shock. That was great, Rose. Can you go use your wind again? Nami asks with a scamming grin. I can't do it all the time. We still gotta paddle. I can't believe that barrier worked though. I love this power. They still got a lead on us. There's got to be a way to distract them, Nami says. I got an idea. Usopp, I need you to get Capote to look this way, Rose says. Alright. Usopp blasting star. Usopp blasts another shot at Capote, causing him to turn around irritated. I told you that won't leave a scratch on me, Capote says. No it won't, but it got you distracted long enough to not notice Porch flying, Rose says as she grins and points to Porch. Capote, help, Porch says as she's sent flying off the boat and into the water. Porch, you bitch, Capote says as he is about to use another fishman karate move, but Rose stops him in time when she sends him flying into the water too. That should take care of them for a while, Rose says as they pass the cutie wagon. Way to go, Rose, Nami says. Unbelievable, Rose sent both passengers of the cutie wagon into the water. Is there anything she won't do to win? Shut up, you no-chinned weirdo, before I blast you out of in fury. Guys, we're not out of the woods yet. Look, Usopp yells as the teams approach the long coral reef with giant whirlpools following behind. Give me a second, I'll choose the path, Nami says as she calculates which path to take. Alright, take that path. Rose and Usopp paddle in the direction she pointed to and got on the path where the currents are carrying them through the reef with ease. Awesome, we don't even need to paddle, Usopp says. Yup, since the whirlpools are creating currents in the maze, all we had to do was choose the right path in this maze and getting out is simple, Nami says. Whoa, Porch yells as her boat chose the wrong path, leading her to the start of the reef. Awesome, we can win, Usopp yells in excitement. I wouldn't celebrate just yet, we have the giant whirlpools to deal with. We should use the impact dial now, Rose says, turning to nervous Usopp. No way. If I use that I could break my shoulder, Usopp says. It's a risk I'm willing to take, Nami says. That's because it's my shoulder. Impact dial. Rose cheers to Usopp. Not you too. Fine, I'll do it, Usopp says as he takes out the dial. Alright, here goes. He attaches the impact dial to his hand and blasts the water, causing the boat to go out of the water and into the air. I'm going to make us fly for a bit so that we don't need to worry about the audience, Rose says as she focuses her wind to go under the boat, making it fly. Wait, why didn't we use your wind in the first place? Usopp yells as agonizes from the pain of using the impact dial. It would have been risky since I don't know if I can pluck a boat from the ocean. Besides, Even though I got flying down, I can't say I'm a master of my devil fruit like Robin. So I would rather not take the risk. The impact dial was the best option. That doesn't matter now. Keep it up before Porch comes back, Nami says. Rose nods and focuses on her wind. Amazing. Rose has now used her wind to make the boat fly and is creating an enormous gap between them and Porch. This is not against the rules as long as it does not land on the ground or sink. Itomimizu yells as he is flying above the crew when suddenly Rose's boat lands on the water and she collapses. Rose, are you okay? Usopp asks. Yay, I'm fine, I used my power too much. I can keep paddling though. Rose replies with a reassuring grin as she helps to paddle. Things are looking good. How exactly did they lose in the manga again? Wait, oh shit. Rose realizes what Foxy is going to do and tries to paddle as quickly as possible. Take it easy, Rose. I know you want to win, but we have a good advantage. You don't have to push yourself. The goal is up ahead, Nami says as she points to the goal. You don't understand. Foxy is gonna, fe. That's as far you go, Straw Hats. Foxy cuts Rose off as he rides on Hamburg, aiming his slow beam at them. Crap. Rose tries to make him fly, which gets him to miss the first shot, but had to put him down immediately because she used too much of it. Fe, nice try dear, but too bad you're out of juice, Foxy says as he points his slow beam at the trio, again hitting them and causing Porch to go past them, winning the race. What happened? Nami asks, completely pissed that she lost. I ate the slow fruit, which gives me the ability to shoot slow beams like this. Foxy demonstrates his slow beam with a cannonball shot by Hamburg hurtling towards him and slows it down right next to him. That's a cheap trick, two-piece head. Luffy insults Foxy, causing him to slump in depression again. You agreed to the game, so now you have to paw. Foxy was cut off as the cannonball went back to full speed and blasted him across the field. Great, now we have to lose one of our crew members. I'm sure they're gonna take Captain Usopp. Usopp says, completely depressed. Don't worry, no matter who is taken, we're going to just have to get him back in the next round. Rose pats him on the shoulder to cheer him up as Robin approaches her. You seem to know a lot about the race and about Fox. Alright, time for the choosing round. We should get going. Rose cuts off Robin before she can finish her question and hurries to the others heading to choosing round. I better be more careful around Robin from now on. She's starting to get suspicious. Time for everyone's favorite round, the deciding round for WHO will join the Foxy Pirates. Itomimizu announces with everyone cheering as Foxy takes center stage to decide his new crew member. You fought well, Straw Hats, but you were no match for me. Fe. Chopper, I'm sorry. Rose clenches her fists in frustration. Now it's time to lose a member and I choose you, Rose, Foxy says as he points to Rose. Wait, what? Rose is completely dumbfounded as she is dragged onto the stage. I did not see this coming. Better me than Chopper, but she starts to grimace at her situation. Rose. No. Usopp yells. It makes sense. Logia devil fruit users are very rare. They might want to use her in their army, Nami says. Maybe even the ship's engine. Robin says. Don't say that, Robin. I don't want to lose her. Chopper says as tears started to come out and Nami hugs him in comfort. Rose-chan. Sanji cries with comical tears while Luffy and Zoro frown at the situation. Welcome to the Foxy Pirates, Rose. I'm sure your devil fruit ability will do wonders for us. Now you have to pledge your allegiance to us, Foxy says as he places a mask on her face. Yes, Captain. RRAGH, Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, Chopper. Rose suddenly outbursts and stands up. The aforementioned look at her with surprise. I don't want to leave, but as a pirate I got no choice. I know that they are going to win, so I just have wait and let them know I believe in them. A grin starts to form on Rose's face while fighting back the tears. In the next rounds you guys do your best. I know you can win. In the meantime, you Foxy assholes better do your worst. The crowd starts to cheer for her determination. This girl is tough as nails. Great choice, Captain, one of the pirates says. She's super cute too. Along with that power, she's awesome, another pirate says. Don't worry, Rose-chan. We're gonna get you back no matter what, Sanji yells. The girl's got more guts than I gave her credit for. The next match will be fun, Zoro says with a devilish grin. Don't worry, Rose. We won't give up till you're back, Chopper yells. Just sit tight, Rose. You're gonna be back with us soon, Luffy yells with determination while the rest of the crew grins with pride for how Rose is taking it. While the rest of the Foxy Pirates are preparing for the second event, Porch and Foxy talk in private. Why did you take that wind brat, boss? You saw how vicious she is. The little reindeer would have been so nice, Porch says with a pout. The reindeer was going to be my first choice, but after seeing the girl perform, I can see that she knows more than she's telling about the Davy Back fights and me. She is too dangerous to be left alone, and this way we don't have to worry about her talking about my weaknesses and we can win the fight no problem. Fa. That's brilliant, boss. Then can we have the reindeer? Of course. Fa. Time for the real game to begin. To be continued. The second round of the Davy Back fight is heading underway. Zoro, Sanji and Chopper are now heading to the field and the Straw Hats are now listening to the rules of the game. Alright everyone, it's time for the famous Groggy Ring. Here are the rules. In the court there are 2 goals on each side and you win by throwing your ball into the enemy's goal. However, this is no ordinary ball. You will use a person from your team to be the ball. Once each team decides, we will let the games begin. Itomimizu announces up in the sky. Team Straw Hat is the violent Sanji, the swordsman Zoro, and the raccoon dog Chopper. Itomimizu announces. I'm a reindeer, Chopper yelled in fury. The team to face off against the Straw Hats are our very own groggy monsters. Our man Hamburg, our very own tackle demon Pickles, and as our ball the half-giant half-fishman Wanton. Itomimizu announces as the crowd goes crazy for their team while the Straw Hats stare at it in disbelief. Wow, that fishman is huge, Luffy yells in excitement as he looks at the team. How are they going to put that giant into the ring? Usopp yells. I knew the fishman was huge, but this is nuts, Rose mutters as she stares at Wanton with wide eyes. Who should be the ball? Chopper asks while Zoro points to Sanji and the referee places the ball onto his head. Why am I the ball, Moss Head? I don't want to look bad when I save Rose. You should do it, Sanji yells in argument. No way, Swirly Brow. That looks pretty good on you, Zoro says. Shut up, jerk, Sanji says as they got into a sword and leg clash. No weapons allowed, the referee yells to Zoro as he stumbles to catch the 3 swords that were tossed to him. Fine by me, let's get this started, Zoro says as he smirks in excitement. Are you sure, Marimo? A swordsman without his swords is pretty useless. With that case you should be the ball, Sanji says, causing them to get into another fight. Start acting like a team. We need to get Rose back, Usopp yells, worried if they can pull it off. Sanji, the ball looks good on you, Nami yells, annoyed about the arguing. I will be the ball, Sanji says with a complete 180-degree turn in his attitude. She's right, you look like a prince of idiots, Zoro says, causing them to go into another clash. Chopper gets annoyed with his teammates, so he goes into heavy point and punches them in the head. Don't fight here, we have to work together to get Rose back. Hey, all that matters is getting Rose back. All we have to do is get the giant fish's head in the ring, right? I'll get it done in no time, Sanji says as he puffs a smoke. If you are Rose's only hope, then she's doomed. I'll take care of it, Zoro says as the 2 glare at one another. They didn't listen to a word I said. Hang on, Rose, we'll get you back, Chopper thinks as he gets to center field with the others. Man, they really don't know what teamwork is, Rose mutters as she watches Zoro and Sanji fight. I know that the crew won with Zoro and Sanji, but with Chopper in the mix I hope they can still manage. Rose starts to worry as Porch approaches her. Hi there, Rosie, Porch says with a big smile. She's up to something. Rose raises an eyebrow as she gets up to face Porch. Hi there, Porch, what's up? I just want to say no hard feelings for dunking me in the water and messing up my makeup. Porch extends her hand for Rose to shake. I think I know where this is going. No hard feelings, I hope we can be friends. Rose extends her hand and grabs onto Porch's hand. Porch's eyes then glint in mischief as she is about to flip her, but Rose was faster than Porch and managed to flip her over her shoulder first. If you think I would fall for that crap, then you're even more stupid than your captain, Rose yells as she throws Porch to the ground. Ow, don't disrespect our captain, you little brat. He's not going to be my captain for long. My friends are going to win. That's what you think. I can't wait to see them smashed into pieces. Like that's going to happen. My friends are strong, they won't lose. HMPH, we'll have to see then, won't we? As long as they don't hurt the cute reindeer, I'm happy. Chopper won't be yours. Let's do this, Chopper yells as he, Zoro and Sanji look at their enemies with determination. Rose looks at them and starts to smile. I shouldn't worry, they're my nakama after all. I need to believe in them. Will the Straw Hats bring back their lost nakama, or will they lose more of their crewmates? We're about to find out now. Let the game begin. With that, Itomimizu shot a gun announcing the game has started. Time to lose, Pickles yells as he makes the first move towards Sanji and tries to tackle him, but Sanji jumps out of the way and jumps off of his back. Out of the way. We save Rose by hitting you into the ring, right? Then you're going down, Sanji yells to Wanton as he aims at him. However, he gets on his arm and starts slipping on his skin. What the? Sanji says as he tries to keep his balance on the giant fish man. Seems like the chef cannot keep his balance on Wanton. But that's unavoidable because Wanton has mud fish genes, making his skin extremely slippery. What are you doing, idiot? Zoro yells. Who are you calling an idiot, moss head? Sanji retorts. Don't fight now, Chopper yells as he goes to help Sanji, but Wanton punches Sanji, sending him flying to the other side of the field. Sanji! The crew yelled as they watched their crewmate go flying. Damn it! Rose gets tempted to use her ability to help and Porch catches that and goes in front of her, wagging her finger. I wouldn't do that. Outside interference leads to decapitation, Porch says with a smirk. I know that, Rose yells back as she pouts in her seat. It doesn't mean I like watching my friends get hurt though. Zoro and Chopper run back to help Sanji, but Pickles hits them both in a side tackle. Hamburg catches Sanji in the air and throws him into position for Pickles to catch him, but Zoro and Chopper block Pickles only for him to hit them. Wanton brings Hamburg back up into the air and Hamburg grabs Sanji again. Zoro and Chopper recover and they grab Pickles and gets ready to throw him. We're not going to give up, Chopper says as he and Zoro hurdle Pickles up into the air. Sanji grabs onto Hamburg and gets into position. Those two stole my moment to impress Rose, but I'm not going to lose. Sanji kicks Hamburg into Pickles, knocking them both out and leaving the Foxy Pirates in a state of shock as the crew cheers. Unbelievable. The Straw Hat Pirates are still in the game and they knocked out two of the groggy monsters, Itomimizu announces with complete shock in his face. Like I needed your help, Marimo, Sanji says in annoyance. Not like I was helping you for your sake, love cook. Guys. While they're knocked out, let's take care of the fishman, Chopper says in frustration. They nod and run to face off against Wanton. You better not lose, Hamburg, Porch yells out. Where's that confidence that they'll smash them to pieces, Porch? Rose says with a confident smirk. Keep it up, guys, you're doing great. Just you wait, they haven't used their strongest attack. Yup, we'll see. Hee. She must mean the Monster Burger. I'm excited to see them work together. Wah! Rose is snapped out of her thoughts and sees the team run away from Wanton. Why are you running away? He's the ball, Usopp yells as he's watching the scene. Open your eyes. He has knives under his shoes, Zoro yells to them. Hey ref, you said weapons aren't allowed, Sanji yells out to him. I don't see anything, the referee says as he looks away. Fefefe, if he can't see it he can't go against it, Foxy laughs in triumph. You asshole, Sanji kicks the referee to the ground. Yellow card on Sanji, the referee says as he flashes a yellow card and whistles. Sanji goes to kick him again, but Chopper holds him back. Sanji, calm down, getting yourself kicked out won't save Rose. Right. Sanji nods in agreement as they two-on use an axe against Zoro. What the hell? Zoro yells as he runs away from Wanton. Look ref, he's using an axe, Chopper yells to the ref, but he looks away and denies seeing it, causing him to get mad now and Usopp having to hold him back. Listen to your own advice. We can't save Rose if you're disqualified, Usopp says, calming Chopper down. I'll do it then, Luffy yells as he reads over, but Nami stops him. He's not worth it. That ref is really pissing me off. Rose does everything to hold herself back from beating up the referee. Sanji, Chopper, get back in the game and don't lose, Nami yells. Yes, Nami Swan. Sanji swoons as he and Chopper go back to the game and continued being chased by Wanton. The three of them turn around to face Wanton and rush to take him down. Wanton slides down to the ground and turns his body into a loop, causing the three of them to be caught in a slippery loop. "I'm getting dizzy," Chopper says as the three of them struggle to get out of the loop. While the chaos was continuing, Pickles and Hamburg get back up with spiked pads and iron gloves. "Ref, that has to be illegal," Rose yells as she stands up to see the referee not paying attention to the competition at all. Wanton launches the three crew members into the air, all of them completely dizzy from the loop. Hamburg jumps up into the air and slams Zoro into the ground. "Zoro!" the crew shouts as they watch Wanton slam Hamburg into ground, punching Zoro with his iron gloves. "Stop this, you stupid ref!" Rose yells as she starts to head over to the referee, but some of the Foxy Pirates hold her back and place her back onto the chair. "Let me go, you assholes!" Rose pushes them back with her wind, but they still block her path. "Remember that you're one of us now. We'd rather not have to punish you for treason," one of the pirates says as Porch chuckles at her reaction. Aren't we getting angry? What happened to my friends are strong, they won't lose," Porch says as Rose sneers at her. "I've always hated this arc. Hang on guys." Rose grits her teeth as she watches Wanton shoots Pickles at Sanji and Chopper, sending them flying and having Wanton and Hamburg slam them into the ground. "So cruel," Nami says as she and the others watch in horror at their crewmates getting hurt. Groggy, the Foxy Pirates cheer for their team to finish the game. Looks the match has ended with the Groggy Monsters undefeated. They put up a good fight, but nothing could prevent their defeat. Now all that's left is to place the ball in the ring, Itomimizu announces as he flies over the field. "Chopper, love cook, help me out for 10 seconds, Zoro says with a pissed off expression. "Sounds like the right amount of time," Sanji agrees. "Let's do this," Chopper says as the three of them start to get up. "What endurance, the Straw Hats have gotten back up. This is getting more and more interesting," Itomimizu announces in shock as the rest of the Foxy crew stares in disbelief. "Kick their asses guys," Luffy cheers as the crew sigh in relief and cheer for their team. "Hee hee. Looks like it's our win after all," Rose says with a grin of pride for her friends. What are you talking about? They can barely stand. It will only end in a bit," Porch yells in anger about Rose's cockiness. "There's one thing you should know about me and my nakama. When one of us is in danger, we stop at nothing to help them. So, even when they're injured like this, they always pull something out of their sleeve to come out on top," Rose says with a prideful grin while Porch fumes about the situation. "Give me a monster burger," Foxy yells in frustration that the Straw Hats are still standing, which causes his crew to become completely shocked. "What's with their reactions?" Robin asks as she and the rest of the crew look at the audience. Her question gets answered as the Hamburg pulls out a pair of clubs, Pickles pulls out 2 swords, and Wanton brings out 2 large pans. "This is ridiculous, they're just showing off their weapons now," Nami yells in anger. "Looks like the Groggy Monsters have prepared their ultimate combo attack, the Monster Burger. Their weapons usually call out elimination from the game, but luckily the referee is doing exercises so he cannot see," Itomimizu announces as the referee is doing squats, not looking at the field at all, while Usopp is forced to hold Luffy back from hitting him. Hamburg aims for Sanji, but Sanji avoids the clubs. "Tuna jam, arm tier shoot," Sanji yells as he sends Hamburg flying into Wanton's pans and gets crushed. Pickles gets furious at Sanji's attack as he aims his attack at him, but Zoro blocks him. "Sword-less style dragon, twister," Zoro mutters as he dodges Pickles' swords and sends him flying to Wanton, causing him to slice up Wanton. Wanton starts to fall back, but Chopper goes behind him and jumps and give Wanton an uppercut to the back, forcing him to stay standing. Zoro and Sanji rush to Pickles from both sides and Sanji kicks Pickles out of the field and lands on the referee. "Ha ha ha. Take that, you cheating asshole," Rose yells as she cheers for the crew. "You did that on purpose. Where are my cards?" The referee scrambles to find his card, but Nami managed to swipe them from him. "Missing something?" Nami says as she holds the missing cards while Robin chuckles at the gesture. "Air Force power shoot." Sanji shoots Zoro into the air as Chopper walks over to Sanji, knowing full well that the match is over, as Zoro grabs Wanton by the mouth and slams him into the ring. Foxy and his crew stare in disbelief in what they saw, but the Straw Hats cheer in celebration. "That was amazing," Usopp yells as he and Luffy dance in celebration. "Hoo-hoo, they won," Luffy yells. "Woo! Way to go guys. I knew you can do it, Rose cheers with joy. No, now I can't get the cute reindeer, Porch yells in anger. Nami returns the whistle to the disoriented referee who blows the whistle ending the game. It's official. The groggy monsters were defeated, Team Straw Hat is victorious. Everyone gathers around for the deciding round with everyone waiting for Luffy's decision as Itomimizu starts announcing. It's time for the deciding round for the Straw Hats. WHO, will the captain choose? It's obvious who I'm choosing, Luffy says as he looks to the Foxy crew, causing all of them to worry about if he is mentioning one of them. I choose. Luffy stretches his arm to grab Rose's arm, whose eyes widen in shock as Luffy's arm pulls back with her. Rose. Wah! Rose yells as she is being pulled over to Luffy and held in an embrace. Thanks for getting me back, Luffy, Rose says as she blushes in embarrassment of getting hugged. Like we'd leave our nakama behind. She. Luffy laughs with his toothy grin, not noticing her blush. Rose. We missed you. Usopp and Chopper yells as they comically cry tears of joy as they run over and tackle Rose and Luffy, causing a dogpile on Rose. Haha, I missed you guys too, Rose says with a wide grin. These guys are the best. Get off of Rose-chan, Sanji yells as he pries the trio off of her while Zoro walks over to them waiting to get treated by Chopper. Zoro, Sanji, thank you both for rescuing me, you both were pretty badass, Rose says with a soft smile. No thanks is needed, Rose-chan. Your prince will always be here to save you, Sanji says with heart eyes. Don't mention it, Rose. Just be careful when inflating the love cook's ego or he might go flying, Zoro says with a smirk, earning him a kick from Sanji, which starts another leg and sword clash. Man, was them working together an illusion? Rose sighs as she heads over to Chopper and gives him some cotton candy. Here you go, Chopper. This is thanks for getting me back. You were awesome out there. Like your thanks is wanted, stupid. I'm not happy at all, Chopper says as he takes the cotton candy and gives her a big smile, then goes to treat Sanji, Zoro and himself before the third round starts. The third round is just about to head underway with the battlefield placed at the ship of the Foxyites take their seats in the audience waiting for Luffy and Usopp to come out. This is crazy, Nami says in anxiety. I wouldn't worry, after all Luffy and fighting work well together, right? Rose replies as she eats a handful of popcorn. Yay, but if we lose this one we can't get that crewmate back. I don't think it will be a problem, right Rose? Robin asks, causing Rose to jolt. Alright, I wish I could read her mind to know what she's thinking. I hope she doesn't catch on about me. Rose shifts in anxiety as the sky starts to fill with smoke. Now is time for the third round to get underway. What a treat, the two fighters will be the captains of the crews. On the left we have the returning champion Foxy. Itomimizu announces as Foxy appears and the Foxy Pirates cheer at his arrival. To the right we have the captain with an amazing 100 belly bounty. The captain with a small but mighty crew. Monkey D. Luffy. Yeah, Luffy wearing boxing gloves, no shirt, shorts and an amazing afro yelled as he revealed himself. Why can't he take this seriously? Nami sighs in frustration. Why the afro? Zoro says as he sweat drops. I think he looks fine, Robin says as she chuckles at the sight. So cool, Chopper cheers. Love the afro Luffy, Sanji cheers. Hoo-hoo, awesome afro Luffy. Rose yells in excitement. Afro Luffy was the only good part of this arc. I'm so glad I get to see it. The Foxy crew cheers on the awesome afro as they wait for the fight to begin. Here are the rules of the combat game. The ship is our battlefield, which is the deck and every room under it along with the air. If you go out of bounds you will be disqualified. One co wins the game. Kick his ass, Foxy. A Foxy pirate yells. You're going down, Straw Hat, another Foxy pirate yells. Beat him up, Luffy, Rose cheers. Don't lose, Luffy, Sanji cheers. Everyone's really excited at the match. There's no turning back now. The fate of both crews relies on the captains. Let the game begin, Itomimizu announces as he rings the bell to start the fight. The battle starts with Foxy getting the upper hand thanks to his slow beam. Foxy uses the weapons on the ship, going from arrows, cannons, and creepy Foxy bombs which blow up all over the deck. Luffy, Nami, Usopp and Chopper yells in worry for their captain. Calm down, it will take more than that to stop him, Sanji says as he puffs a smoke from his cigarette. You're right about that, especially since he dodged, Rose says as she points to where Luffy is up on the crow's nest. Wah! Amazing Straw Hat Luffy dodged the bombs, Itomimizu announces as both crews cheer for Luffy. The battle intensifies as both contenders don't pull any punches. Foxy sends Luffy inside the ship with a pitfall trap, causing the crews to wait patiently. He'd better not lose, Zoro says. He won't lose, the Afro will make him stronger, Usopp says as he pumps a fist in the air. With the Afro, Foxy doesn't stand a chance, Sanji says. You got that right. Rose nods in agreement. Why does an Afro make him stronger? Nami asks with a skeptic look as smoke is rising from the ship to show Foxy standing triumphantly while Luffy is down. Luffy! The crew yells in worry until Luffy rises up to face Foxy again. For my friends, I will fight to the death, Luffy yells as he fights Foxy. In that case I will make sure you stay down for good, Foxy yells as he gets back to the fight. Foxy doesn't show mercy with his punches and the slow beam, but Luffy keeps coming back up and fighting back with all of his willpower. Both crews cheer for Luffy's amazing dedication and stamina. I know Luffy's a great fighter, but this is amazing. I've always loved watching Luffy's fights back in my world, but seeing it up close puts all of those fights to shame. Rose watches Luffy's fight in pure excitement as she scoots to the edge of her seat. Luffy and Foxy launch the final punch, Foxy using his slow beam, but it reflects back to him because of Luffy's hidden mirror. Amazing, Luffy had a mirror shard in his hand during the fight. I had it in my Afro from the mirror room. It's time to end this, gum. Luffy flails his arm around and then hits Foxy straight in the face. Flail. After Luffy hit him, he slowly walked away as Foxy was slowly experiencing the impact of that punch as his slow beam was wearing off and everyone was counting down till the beam wore off. 8. Zoro says. 7. Sanji says. 6. Robin says. 5. Usopp yells as he stands and gets the Foxy Pirates to cheer. 4. Chopper yells. 3. Nami says. 2. Rose yells as she stands up, unable to contain her excitement anymore. 1. Everyone yells as Foxy goes flying out of bounds and into the water. He did it! Monkey D. Luffy has broken Foxy's record and has won the Davy Back fight, Itomimizu announces as the crowd goes crazy from that fight. Luffy starts to collapse, but Rose uses her wind to bring him over to the crew. Great work, Captain, Rose says with a soft smile as she brings him over to Chopper. Luffy just woke up from the fight and is now deciding what to take from the Foxy Pirates. I choose the flag, Luffy says. What? Everyone but Rose and Robin yell in surprise. Why, Luffy? There are plenty of girls to choose from, even that SXY shipwright, Sanji says in disappointment. If we got a crewmate from something like this, it wouldn't be worth it, Luffy says. Rose grins in satisfaction. That's Luffy for ya. Frankie is a better shipwright anyway. You devil! You want to steal our sail so we're trapped here? Foxy yells in turmoil. I just want your flag, you can keep the sail, but our Jolly Roger is on the sail. I'll just erase it and make a new one for you. You're so nice, Foxy says with a tear of joy in his eye until he sees Luffy's poor design. It's horrible, the Foxy crew yells in depression. Haha. That'll teach them to mess with other crews. Rose tries her best to hold back from laughing. The Straw Hat crew is the winner. The Davy Back fight is officially over, Itomimizu announces as he and the rest of the Foxy Pirates sail away, swearing that they will someday get revenge. The crew head over to Tanyat's house with the flag in tow. Thank you for defending us, we're sorry for the trouble, Tanyat says. It's nothing, Luffy says as he flashes his toothy grin. Chopper goes over to change Shelly's bandages. We can give you a ride to your village on our ship if you want, Nami suggests to Tanyat. Don't worry about it, I can wait. Why don't we go inside and have some cheese? Tanyat turns around to go inside the house only to run into a sleeping Aokiji. Oh shit. I forgot about this guy. Rose turned to see Robin, completely shocked in seeing Aokiji. Robin! Luffy yells as everyone gets in a defensive position. You sure have grown into a fine woman, Nico. Robin, Aokiji says with a smile. Robin, do you know this guy? Zoro asks as he is ready to unsheath his katana. He's Aokiji, one of the 3 admirals of the Marines. What's someone like that doing here? Usopp yells as he hides behind Zoro. Looks like we have 2 more SXY ladies here, Aokiji says as he turns to Rose and Nami. I'm not interested in Marine's old man, Rose retorts back. Leave the girls alone, asshole, Sanji yells. Chill kids. I don't want to fight. I only came here to confirm Nico Robin's whereabouts. By the way, old man, pack up and get ready to move, I'll help you, Aokiji says as he lays down on the ground. Don't listen to him, old man. He's a marine, Luffy yells as Tanyet and the rest of the crew stay quiet. Isn't that a good thing? Tanyet asks. Right, usually we're the bad guys, Luffy says as he pounds his fist in realization. Be serious, Usopp yells as he whacks Luffy in the head. How exactly would the marine help the old man? Zoro asks with a skeptic look. With his help it's possible, Robin says, trying to calm herself. She's right, with his abilities it's no problem, Rose says in agreement, causing everyone to wonder what they meant. Ice Age. Alcases the ocean for Tanyet to cross and completely shocking everyone but Rose and Robin. This will last for 10 days, that should be enough time for you to catch up with your village, Aokiji says as he helps Tanyet onto the ice. Thank you all. If it weren't for you I would still be on those stilts. I hope we meet again, Tanyet says as he waves the crew and Aokiji goodbye. Wow, your powers are awesome. You're not so bad for a marine, shishishi, Luffy says with his big grin. I remember where this leads to. I gotta help Robin. Rose walks to Robin and prepares herself. Robin looks at her in confusion. What's wrong, Ro? I was going to leave after seeing Robin, but maybe you all should die here. Aokiji cuts Robin off as he gets up from his spot while the others glare at him. I thought you weren't going to attack us, Chopper and Usopp yell. In between the start of your journey and now your power has grown greatly. The crew is now extremely dangerous because of you, Nico Robin. What was that? What did Robin-chan do to you? Sanji says as Usopp has to hold him back. She didn't do anything to me, but I'm just telling the truth. She's a curse for every organization she's been a part of, always gets annihilated, Aokiji says as he approaches Rose and Robin. Rose runs in front of her and glares at him. Robin's not a curse, you overgrown popsicle. The world government's the one who's a curse by hurting anyone who poses a threat to them. The crew is completely surprised at Rose's outburst, but Aokiji stays calm. You have some good friends, Robin. I wonder how long these new tools of yours will last. Shut up. If you want to arrest me, bring it on, Trenta Flores, Robin screams in fury as she uses her devil fruit power to put Aokiji in a hold, but he escapes by turning himself to ice. That was harsh, Robin. Did I strike a nerve? Aokiji says as he grabs a few blades of grass and turns them into an ice sword. Zoro blocks Aokiji's attack. Sanji kicks the ice sword away, but before Aokiji can get a hold of them, Rose sends them flying away from Aokiji. Don't touch him, he'll freeze you, Rose yells as she tries to use her ability to attack, but it doesn't work. Damn it, I'm still not used to going on the offense. What have we here? Seems the crew also has a logia user. A new one at that, Aokiji says as he approaches her. Robin, when I jump, run to the ship, Rose whispers as Robin tries to stop her, but Rose jumps and uses a wind blast to force Aokiji to the ground. Then Rose keeps her wind hold on him while flying right above him and gives him a devious smirk. If I taunt him, maybe he'll forget about Robin and come after me. I'm surprised you're willing to go after Robin when you spared her from Ohara's buster called Kuzan. Why not go after a real threat that knows about you and Sakazuki's crimes? Rose whispers so only Aokiji could hear, causing him to go wide-eyed. As you wish. He uses his ice to make a shield against the wind and grabs her arms, making her unable to get out of his icy grip. Rose! The crew yells as they run to stop him, but she's already starting to freeze. Leave her alone. Robin yells as she is about to use her devil fruit powers, but Rose sends her flying away from the battle to the direction of the ship. Rose! What are you doing? Robin yells as she tries to fight against the wind, but it's too strong. Better me than you, Robin. Rose says with a smile as Aokiji completely freezes her. Rose! You asshole! Luffy yells in fury. Chill. If you thaw her she'll be fine, but she's brittle at the moment, so if you hit her she'll die. Who would have thought 2 threats would be on your crew? You must have some rotten luck. I might as well make it easier on you and get rid of one of them. Like if you smash this one like this. Aokiji is about to strike at Rose, but before he could, Luffy grabs her and avoids Aokiji's hit. "Now I'm mad," Luffy says as he tries to get Rose to safety, but Aokiji lifts his foot above them and is about to crush Rose, but Usopp quickly grabs her and runs to the ship with Chopper and Nami. "Great work, Usopp. Get Rose back to the ship and thaw her out," Luffy yells. "You shouldn't be saving dangerous women," Aokiji says as he starts to freeze. Zoro attacks Aokiji to stop him from going after the guys. "Shut up. I don't care how dangerous Robin or Rose are, we'll help them no matter what." Sanji yells as he joins in the attack. Aokiji grabs onto Zoro's arm and Sanji's leg and starts to freeze them. Luffy punches him, which causes him to let the guys go, but his hand gets frozen as well. "You should have listened to Rose when she said don't touch me," Aokiji says as he heads to the boat, but Luffy blocks him. "Guys, I want to fight him alone," Luffy says with his bangs covering his eyes. The others nod in agreement as they head to the ship. Chopper, Sanji and Zoro yell as they run over to the Mary. "Guys, where's Luffy?" Chopper yells from the deck. "We'll tell you later. Just thaw us," Zoro yells. "We're still thawing Rose in the bathroom." Chopper scrambles to think about what to do, but Zoro and Sanji jumped into the ocean. "That will work. When you're done, come up and massage your frozen limbs," Chopper says as he goes back to the bathroom to Rose and the others. "Will she be okay?" Nami asks as she helps rubs Rose's limbs while Robin uses her devil fruit abilities to sprout dozens of hands around Rose to warm her up. "If we keep this up, she should recover," Chopper says as he continues his treatment. "He really did a number on her. What exactly did she say to him?" Nami asks. "I don't know, but she knew it would get his attention," Robin says with a sad face as she looks at Rose. "What exactly do you know, Rose?" "Chopper, we got Luffy, we need you to thaw him," Sanji yells as he and Zoro hold a frozen Luffy. "Wow, Luffy too? Hang on." Chopper goes out to grab Luffy as Nami and Robin take Rose to the infirmary. The crew waits for Chopper to give the news when he suddenly comes out with tears in his eyes. Luffy and Rose are going to be fine. Luffy's asleep in the men's room now. They should be back to normal in a few days, Chopper says as he cries with joy. The crew sighs with relief and they do what they can to get ready while their crewmates are recovering. Usopp slumps down in exhaustion of the day's events. "What's the matter, Long Nose?" Robin asks as she walks towards Usopp. "Will we face strong guys like that more often?" Usopp asks as he lays down. "It's been a long day. Go rest, you look tired," Zoro says, and Usopp agrees as he and most of the crew head to bed from a long day except Robin, who looks out in the horizon with worry about today's events. "No matter what, I'm not letting this crew fall apart." Robin clenches her fists when she remembers Rose's words. "She's not a curse. You don't know how wrong you are, Rose." Robin looks out in the horizon for a moment before heading to bed, not knowing what events await her in the future. To be continued. The Straw Hats are engaged in a fierce battle with Aokiji. Rose made the others stay back while she fought him with her logia abilities. Both sides don't give an inch and are getting exhausted. Aokiji launches ice spears at her. She flew straight at him, making the ice spears go through her while delivering the final blow. Wind Twister Punch. Rose yells as her fists turn into a tornado that hits Aokiji's face, sends him flying into a boulder and finishing the battle with him without anyone getting frozen. The crew is now walking over to the ship for some well-earned rest. "That was brilliant, Rose Schwan. You really knew how to take care of that asshole." Sanji swoons as he loved tornadoes around Rose. Rose grins as they keep walking. "Thanks, Sanji. I'm still surprised I managed to control my powers to beat him." Chopper looks at her curiously. "What exactly did you say to get him to attack you?" "I just told him a few things he didn't like to hear." Robin goes in front of Rose and stops the crew from walking while starting to break her composure. "I want the truth, Rose. You knew a lot about Aokiji, and you knew not only about how the race worked but also about what Foxy can do during the first round. What aren't you telling us?" Zoro joins Robin and scowls at Rose. "So I'm not the only one that noticed. You seem to know a lot about us even though we just met, and during today's events you knew what was going to happen. Tell us the truth." Rose gives them a soft look. "Guys." The rest of the crew joins Robin and Zoro, for they all want to know the truth. "You want the truth? Fine. I'm from another world, one that..." Rose looks at the ground in worry about how to say it. "Go on." Nami says with her arms crossed around her chest. A world that knows almost everything about this world, you guys, and your adventures, Rose says with her eyes closed. When she opens them, she doesn't like what she sees when she sees some of the crew with fear in their eyes while most give her an angry glare. So, you know about our adventures so far? Zoro asks and she nods. Which means you know about our pasts as well? Robin asks with venom in her voice. Most of your pasts, but I wasn't going to reveal them, I swear. Rose tries walk up to the crew with open arms, but they step away from her. She's even scarier than a sea king, Usopp says in fear. Run away, Chopper yells as he and Usopp run to the ship. Guys wait. Rose tries to go after them but she is blocked by the others. Don't bother following. Having you in our crew will only lead to trouble, Sanji says as he puffs a smoke and gives Rose the scariest glare he's ever given to a girl, causing her to step back in fear. Please, if you guys will let me express, Zoro cuts Rose off with a sword pointed to her face. There's no need to explain which. You're only going to get in our way. You're out of the crew. Rose widens her purple eyes in terror. But, Aokiji, perfect timing, can you dispose of this for us? Robin cuts her off as Aokiji approaches Rose from behind. Aokiji smirks as he turns his arms into ice. It will be my pleasure, Robin. Rose tries to fight back but her wind doesn't work and Aokiji locks her in an embrace and starts to freeze. She turns to the crew to give them one last plea. Luffy, please listen to me, I don't want to hurt anyone, I just wanted to leave my world. Rose cries out with tears in her eyes, but is answered with one of Luffy's glares, the ones he only shows to his enemies. I don't want anyone ruining our adventures. If you can't understand that, then you're better off dead. Rose gives them a look of pure heartbreak as Aokiji finishes freezing her entire body. May we do the honors? Nami asks. You got it, Aokiji says as he leaves. Nami, Robin, Zoro, and Sanji get ready to strike her but Luffy stops them. Hold on guys, it's the captain's responsibility to handle its crew members. The others nod in understanding and step back as Luffy pulls his arms back. Gum Gum Bazooka. Luffy attacks Rose with full force and shatters her body into 1,000 pieces. Rose wakes up in a jolt from the nightmare, gasping for breath and looking around the room to find herself in the infirmary of the Going Merry in the middle of the night. It was just a dream. What happened? Rose remembers the events of the battle with Aokiji as she stares at the ground. That's right. I stopped Robin from getting frozen and I pissed off Aokiji. I'm gonna get questioned tomorrow, that's for sure. Rose tries to come up with a solution for her mess as she walks to the upper deck of the ship to look at the stars, but the clouds are in the way. Stupid clouds, I hate when they're out at night. I wonder. She flies up and focuses her wind powers. She forces the wind to push the clouds out of the way so the stars can be viewed. Awesome. This is an astronomer's dream. She spins in excitement as she manipulates the clouds to get the stars in full view. Now I'm curious. What if She moves the clouds together and makes a hole in the clouds so the cloud doesn't touch her when she goes inside but makes her invisible to the outside world. This is perfect. I can use this whenever we have covert missions. She peeks out of the cloud to see a shadow figure on the deck sneaking into the kitchen. What the hell? Who's on night watch? I'll take care of him. She sheds her cloud disguise and rushes over the kitchen to find a lone figure eating food from the fridge. Unable to recognize the intruder, she sends him flying to the wall at the other side of the kitchen and got ready to punch him until she recognizes the intruder's voice. Rose, you're awake, Luffy says as he tackles her into a hug. Luffy, what are you doing up? Rose asks as she tries to hide her blush. I got hungry, so I came here for a midnight snack. What are you doing up? Luffy asks as he lets go of her and continues eating his food. Like I can tell him about my nightmare. I couldn't sleep. So, what happened with everyone else after I got frozen? I got frozen and the crew thawed USH. I woke up this morning. Luffy answers with a mouthful of meat. I see, I'm glad it worked out. Rose says with a soft smile as she grabs an apple from the fridge and joins him. How did you know I was in here? I was hiding up in the clouds watching the stars when I saw you walking in, but I couldn't see your face so I thought you were an intruder. Sorry about that. That's so cool, can I see? Luffy asks with stars in his eyes. Hee, I'll do you one better, come on. Rose leads him outside where the giant cloud that Rose formed still remained. Ready to fly, Luffy? Let's go. Luffy yells with excitement. She focuses her wind and makes the cloud able to contain 2 people without giving them away. This is awesome. Right? And the best part of this is that now I can see the stars without the clouds blocking the view anymore. Rose says as she looks up at the stars with excitement. You're right. The stars look great, she. Yay. And all the constellations are amazing, like oh. The Little Dipper is over there. Orion is over there. And even the Capricorn constellation is here too. Wow. Rose points at each constellation with excitement as Luffy tries to follow. Wow, you really like the stars, huh? Yay. The stars have always been amazing to me. My parents were astronomers and they taught me everything I know. They even came up with the theory of other worlds. Rose slaps her mouth to shut herself up, but it's too late as she turns around to see Luffy's excited expression. There are other worlds out there, oh boy, way to go, Rose. I might as well tell him and let him laugh. As long as I keep quiet about me being from one, no harm, right? Rose sighs as she turns to look at the stars. Yup, other worlds exist. There are probably as many out there as there are stars in the sky. You know those stories that you read at night? In reality, every story is in its own dimension and the events are actually happening. What my parents studied along with Estrad, the Timor comet that's said to travel to every one of these dimensions. They somehow managed to finish their research along with a theory of how to go to one, but it got lost. My dream is to finish what my folks started and find out everything about the comet. She caught herself getting carried away with her dream and forms an apologetic smile before looking at Luffy. Sorry, I'm probably boring you with this. She turns her head to see a look of pure excitement from her captain. That's amazing. When you find out how to go to these other worlds, can the crew go too? Rose looks at Luffy's excitement in shock, then chuckles to herself. Hee, I'm an idiot. Of course Luffy wouldn't laugh at other people's dreams. I'm grateful the Timor comet brought me to these guys, but she remembers what Luffy said in her nightmare. I don't want anyone ruining our adventures. It's best not to tell him or the others the truth. At least not until we pass the Punk Hazard arc, where I won't know what happens. She nods to herself, then smiles at her captain. If I can finish my family's research about the comet and find out how to travel, I wouldn't want anyone else but you guys with me. She brings the 2 of them back to the deck of the ship while Luffy grins. Great, then I've decided. She quirks an eyebrow. Decided on what? From now on you're the crew's astromancer, she. She holds back from laughing at his declaration. I think you mean astronomer, Luffy. Yay, that. By the way, who's on night watch tonight? Shouldn't they have noticed we were down here? I think Zoro is on duty. I'll be right back. Luffy heads inside the boat and comes back in a flash with something in his hand. I betcha Zoro is asleep. She. Luffy tries to hold back his giggles, but he fails, causing Rose to raise an eyebrow. I agree with you there. Wanna go check it out? Rose asks and he nods. Both crewmates fly up to the crow's nest to find a sleeping Zoro. She. This is gonna be good, Luffy whispers as he reveals 2 markers. Brilliant, Luffy. Rose whispers as Luffy hands her one of the markers. You get the left side, I'll get the right. Luffy says with a mischievous grin as Rose takes the marker and matches his grin. Let's do it. Both crewmates manage to draw on Zoro's face. They work together on the upper lip to give him a swirly mustache. Luffy drew poor skull marks, meat, and fish on his side. Rose drew stars, a swirl on his eye, raindrops under his lip, and wrote, Marimo, on his forehead. When both artists were satisfied with their work, they quietly dropped down to the deck and were silently laughing. Oh man. Zoro is gonna kill us when he sees our art project tomorrow, ha. Rose whispers as she wipes a tear from her eye. That was great. Can't wait to see his reaction tomorrow. She, Luffy says as they walk inside. I'm gonna head back to bed. Good night, Rose. Luffy walks away but stops to notice Rose isn't heading to bed. What's the matter? I forgot something in the kitchen. Rose lies as she shifts her eyes everywhere and turns around to head to the deck. You stink at lying, Luffy says bluntly, which causes Rose to stop in her tracks. I'm probably as bad at lying as you are. Alright, I just don't want to go to sleep right now. Rose keeps her back to her captain, who grabs her shoulder and pulls her back into an embrace with her back to him. What are you doing, Luffy? She begins to blush and tries to get out, but Luffy keeps a strong grip on her as they head to the infirmary. If you had a bad dream, all you had to do was say so. You should still rest since you're recovering, so I'll sleep with you. What? Not happening. I'm okay, Luffy, really, I didn't have any nightmares. She purses her lips and looks down to try to hide her blush as she struggles. See, your lying stinks. All of us were really worried about you, so I want you to get your rest, please? Rose turns to him in surprise. Has Luffy always been this sweet? Hee. This guy never stops surprising me. She starts to form a sheepish grin. Alright, you win. I'll go to bed, but we don't need to sleep together. It's easier for someone who had a nightmare to fall asleep when they're with someone close, right? So, we should sleep together. Besides, it's safer to hide in here when Zoro wakes up. Luffy lays on the only bed in the infirmary with her in tow. I don't know if he wants to comfort me or hide from Zoro, but he's right. I'd rather not be alone right now. She sighs as she resigns to her fate. Thank you, Luffy, I really appreciate it. Good night. Good night. Luffy throws the blanket over the two of them and falls asleep. Rose, what have I told you about fighting bullies? Rose's father Joe says as he crosses his arms over his chest while scolding his 7-year-old daughter who was sent home for fighting bullies again. When you fight a bully, you have to aim for the nose, Rose says as she looks at the ground and shifts her foot. The brown-haired man nods with a grin. That's right. The best way to get rid of a bully is to hit them in the nose with all you got. And why? Because bullies are like sharks. When you hit them in the nose, they go running. That's Joe was cut off by a whack in the head by his wife and Rose's mother Teresa. Don't teach our daughter useless stuff. Joe rubs his head while whining. But, Teresa, if bullies are going to pick on our little girl, I want to make sure she can protect herself. Teresa whacks him on the head again in irritation. We should be teaching her how to get along with Oath. No, I don't want to get along with those jerks. Rose yells, causing both of them to stare at her. Teresa sighs as she sits on the couch and places her daughter on her lap. Rose, why did you get in a fight with them? They were saying how your research is crazy and how you should go to a madhouse for believing in other worlds. I don't care what you say. I won't be friends with people who make fun of you or your research. Someday we're going to another world, and when we do they will regret making fun of you. She yells in anger as tears escape her eyes, causing both Teresa and Joe to embrace her. Teresa rubs her daughter's back to calm her down. Rose, thank you for defending us, but you can't get in a fight with everyone who doesn't believe in our research. Rose sighs as she stares at the floor. I know, but I can't stand it when you guys get picked on for being geniuses. Joe nods as he ruffles his daughter's brown hair, then starts smirking. We know, Rose, but think of it this way. When we prove them wrong about the other worlds, we won't let them go to any of them. Rose starts grinning before nodding at her dad. Yay. Teresa grins before turning Rose to face her. I know it's hard to hear people doubt us, but hang in there for us, okay? She nods. Okay. Good girl. She kisses Rose on the cheek before placing her on the couch as she gets up. I'm going to get started on dinner. Joe, don't do anything stupid. She glares at her husband, causing him to sweat drop. Have a little faith, honey. I'm just going to teach her some constellations. Joe says with an innocent grin as she leaves the room. Joe picks Rose and heads to the study before whispering to her. Along with our lessons, how about I teach you how to fight? Just in case those rotten bullies attack first. We won't tell Mom. Rose nods in excitement at the thought of training with her dad. Yay, let's do it. Rose woke up from her dream with a soft smile, but when she tries to get up she feels something hold her back to the bed. What the hell? She looks down to see that her body is wrapped multiple times by Luffy's arms. She turns around to see Luffy's sleeping face right in front of her, causing her to immediately blush and her eyes to be as wide as plates. Ah, what's Luffy doing here? Rose scoots away from him, then starts to remember last night's events. That's right, I had that bad dream and Luffy comforted me. She relaxes and smiles at Luffy. Fern, why cute? Wait, what am I thinking? Whatever, I gotta get out of whatever this is before someone from the crew finds us and gets the wrong idea. Luffy, wake up, and let go, the crew's gonna wake up any minute. Rose struggles to get out of Luffy's wrappings, but it only gets worse when Luffy pulls her closer to him and tightens his grip. You're killing me here, Luffy. Why did you have to have a vice grip from hell? Wait, someone is going to be coming after us, right? Why was that again? She keeps struggling when she hears crashes outside. Luffy, Zoro and Sanji yell from outside the room. Oh shit, that's right. We ate Sanji's food and drew on Zoro's face. This is serious. She tries even harder to get out but Luffy won't budge. She's left with no choice but to fly behind the barrels with Luffy in tow. Here we go again. She sulks as she remembers hiding here the first day on the ship as she lays Luffy down on the ground. Wahahaha. Nice paint job, Moss Head. You look 10 times better, Sanji laughs from outside the room. Shut up, Love Cook. Where's Luffy? He's not in the men's room. If I knew I would be beating him up right now for stealing meat from the fridge again. The only place we haven't checked is the infirmary where Rose is. If he bothered Rose-chan, I'll kick him into next week. As long as I get him back for drawing on me, I don't care. Zoro opens the door to find Rose's bed empty. Where's Rose-chan? Sanji yells in worry. I don't know, but I have a feeling she's got something to do with our missing captain. You look over there, I'll look over here. Zoro says as he looks to where the barrels are. This looks familiar. He walks over to the barrels and widens his eyes when he sees Rose trapped in Luffy's arms. Please get Sanji out of here, Rose pleads in a whisper. I take it you both were involved with this? Zoro asks in a whisper while pointing to his face. I'll explain what happened after Sanji is gone, Rose whispers back. Zoro starts smirking. Wrong answer. Oi Lovecook, I found them. Zoro, you asshole. Rose uses her wind to throw Zoro at Sanji and flies with the sleeping Luffy wrapped around her out of the room and into the hall with both of the guys chasing them. Luffy, how dare you wrap yourself around Rose like that? Wait till I get my hands on you, Sanji yells. It's not what you think, Sanji. We just slept together. Rose covers her mouth, realizing what she just said made the situation worse. Sanji looks at them in shock, then rage flames start growing out of him. You slept with her, you shitty captain? Rose stares at him with shock as she flies away from him. Whoa, he really can go Super Saiyan. That's kinda awesome. Wait, now's not the time to be fangirling. I gotta get away from them. She flies out to the deck where the others are stopping what they're doing to watch the hilarious scene of Rose being wrapped by an unconscious Luffy and flying away from a pursuing Sanji and Zoro. Why can't these idiots get up in a normal way? Nami asks as she waters her tangerines. I see Rose is as lively as ever. I'm glad she's feeling well, Robin says, not changing her grin. Ha ha ha. Nice look, Zoro. Usopp yells as he and Chopper laugh at Zoro's face, earning a death glare from him. Instead of watching, help me out here, guys. Rose yells to the others when Robin uses her devil fruit power to stop the guys in their tracks by grabbing the guys' legs from the deck and tripping them. Rose lands while gently placing down Luffy on the deck. Thanks, Robin. Luffy finally wakes up and lets go of Rose and looks to see the crew surrounding them. Good morning, guys. Hey Rose, why are we on the... You're the reason, Rose yells in full embarrassment as she whacks Luffy on the head. Ahem. Rose and Luffy both look at the crowd. Nami steps forward and gives both Luffy and Rose a whack to the head. Don't cause trouble so early in the morning. We're sorry, both of the pranksters say as they look down at the deck. After Nami finished her scolding, she gave Zoro a whack to the head. Why did I get hit? Zoro yells. For someone who was on night watch, you should have been awake. I'm increasing your debt for that, Nami says, earning a death glare from Zoro. How are you feeling, Rose? Do you feel any cold? Chopper asks as he inspects her. I'm feeling much better thanks to you, Chopper, Rose says, causing Chopper to go into another happy dance. That Aokiji really gave you guys the cold shoulder though, Usopp says, causing Rose, Chopper and Luffy to laugh while the others groan at the pun. That joke was almost as bad as drawing on my face, Zoro says, still sour about the prank. Sorry again about that, Zoro, Rose says while holding back on a chuckle from how his face looks. If you mean it, then don't laugh. Oh come on, Zoro, it was just a prank, lighten up, Usopp says as he recovers from laughing and joins Luffy and Chopper in a game of tag. By the way, Rose, why exactly were you and Luffy sleeping together? Nami asks with a mischievous grin, causing Zoro to grin as well. What are they thinking? Whatever you're thinking didn't happen. Luffy just wanted to hide from Zoro before he saw our art project. I don't know, Luffy seemed to really like having you in his arms, Nami said in a sing-song tone, causing Rose to get embarrassed. I'm telling you guys. Luffy doesn't have any romantic feelings for me. Could that mean you have feelings for him? Zoro asks with a mischievous grin. Shut up, Moss Head. As if anything can happen between Rose-chan and the shitty captain, Sanji yells as he aims a kick at Zoro, causing the two to get in another battle. Good thing Sanji helped. It's not like I have any feelings for Luffy, right? Rose looks over to the playing Luffy in thought when Robin approached her from behind. Rose, may I talk to you alone? Robin asks, causing Rose to jolt and snap out of her thoughts. Sure, Robin. Rose follows Robin to the girls' room as Robin made sure nobody was around to overhear them. I know that Nami and I said that we would wait until you were ready to talk about your past, but after that outburst with Aokiji, things have changed. Robin says as she sheds her grin. What is your relationship to Aokiji and the world government? Shit, I knew this would happen. What can I say that will get her off of my back? Rose frowns with worry while trying to find the right thing to say. I'm waiting. Alright, Aokiji harmed a very close friend of mine. I hate the Marines and the world government because they misuse their power to hurt innocent people in the name of justice. I'm sorry if I was out of line during the battle, but I just didn't want to see someone close to me get frozen in front of my eyes again, Rose says as she looks down and clenches her fists. Robin widens her eyes in shock but regains a small grin. I see, I forgive you for interfering, but don't do it again. Just as how you don't like seeing people close to you get hurt, I also don't like it. I promise, Robin, but on one condition. Promise me that you don't take Aokiji's words to heart. No matter what he or anyone in the world government says, no one's existence is cursed. You have every right to be here as any of us do. Robin was shocked at the promise, but she kept her smile. I promise. Rose smiles with relief as the boat suddenly shifts. Both girls run up to the deck to find the guys using giant paddles to steer the ship. What's going on, guys? Rose asks as she helps the guys with one of the paddles. Luffy points to a giant frog with black hair and scars on his chest swimming in the ocean. There's a frog doing freestyle with scars all over his body. I'm going to catch it and eat it. You're gonna eat it? The other guys ask in shock. Rose looks at them in shock. Did you say a frog? She looks to see the frog standing on the sea train rails. It's Yokozuna. That means we're at Water 7. Oh no. Guys turn around quick. What? Why? Nami asks when the others start to hear the sea train. That's why. Now hurry. Rose yells as they around and avoid the sea train. Wait, what about the frog? Usopp yells as the others see the sea train heading straight for him. Hey frog. Get out of the way. Luffy yells, but it was too late as the sea train sends him flying. I got him. Rose yells as she catches him with her wind and lands him on the deck of the ship. Great catch, Rose. Now let's eat, Luffy yells, but Nami whacks him on the head. We're not eating him. Wah, he's badly injured. Call a doctor, Chopper yelled. You're the doctor. The crew yells, then Chopper goes to treat him. What was that giant ship? Sanji says as he hands the daily drinks to the girls. I've heard about it. It's called a sea train. It runs on the water rails and is strong enough to go against the sea kings. Rose says as she drinks her hot chocolate. Really? Wow. Usopp says. Here comes the start of the next arc. I'll have to do my best. Rose looks to Water 7 with determination as the next adventure begins. To be continued.